Well, good day, everybody, and good happy new year. This is a super important morning for me and for you guys to give back a lot of information I'm going to give regarding the devices, everything everyone got for Christmas, maybe, and most importantly, what you want for the new year. A lot of people are resetting their skin. A lot of you are starting home spas, more like it. And I want to give you guys information on your routines, on everything you got for Christmas. What are some of the procedures you should or shouldn't do for 2026? And I know you're all thinking about maybe your spring break, everything coming up, and how to get your skin ready and what you should do in the winter for sun. I'm going to take a robust Q&A today. I have a ton of time for you guys. The goal is to get you the information you need. Let me go into a couple basics of routines. Then we're going to take all your questions and we'll banter back and forth on some fun stuff. But I made a couple of notes. This is old school paper. Everything often comes off my head, but I'm trying to be organized for the first part of this. Let me go through. I think this is the number one thing that I got asked by everyone, how to combine some of your devices. And I will touch on galvanics and EMS devices that I don't have in my line. Let me see this. I want to show you guys something. This is like an EMS mask. So just understand, I test everything from galvanics to bipolars to EMS masks. We're going through it. So number one, a lot of people ask me red light therapy. How do I combine a red light therapy, gua sha, and a derma roller or a stamp? And red light goes first in my book. Okay. And the reason is there's something in your cells called cytochrome C oxidase. And there's a whole cycle that produces your ATP and recharges your mitochondria. And a lot of wellness is about your mitochondria charging. It's about the energy of your cells and the ability to fight off cancer cells, untoward cells, and inflammation. That's how all this works. So red light goes first, okay, on cleansed skin. You don't need anything on there. You don't need tea oil or tea serum or anything like that. Cleansed skin. It doesn't matter because this is all about charging the mitochondria in the cells. And keep this in mind. Red light, superficial, so you can start down at the 400 nanometer wavelength. That's what we use for acne. But in a red light mask, you're looking at 630, which is your superficial red light. When you go to your deep, your near infrared, your eye can't see past 700 nanometers, right? It goes deeper. So what you put on the skin's not going to affect it. So why put something on? And it could affect the superficial. In my lip device, of course, I put very superficial, 605 nanometers, because the lip is a mucous membrane. But I'm talking red light masks. Let's try and stay on track here and go to that. So that your red light's first. It's before you break any skin, before you do derma rolling or anything. And your gua sha would be second. Why? The reason is you're going to gua sha with an oil. So your red light mask is on fresh skin. If you're going to gua sha, I've got one around here somewhere, okay? Yes, some of them like mine will have built-in light, okay? They will. But a lot of you are using just a $10 or $20, $30 stone that won't have vibration or light. That's fine. But you're still probably going to use an oil for slip. For me, a lot of times what I have on my face now is lubricating enough, right? And I'll go into that. So that's gua sha. Now, RF, you're going to say, well, how does RF and galvanic work here? Keep in mind, many of you have galvanics at home. I know many of you got them for Christmas. A galvanic can be one of many things. Typically, there's 2 electrodes. You use a gel. It's electrical current going from one side to the other, and it does a couple things. 2 things. 3. Number one, not a lot of them have these, but if you use a positive charge, that's used for cleansing. That attracts negative charge and it pulls things out of your skin and your pores. Great. A lot of them have negative charge, okay, and that's going to drive things into your skin because a lot of skincare is negative charge. And a lot of them have positive to negative. Even some have DC voltage to stimulate and tone. And that's what you guys want because they tout the fact that they tone. How do you use these? That's going to be an NRF. I don't know if I have my NUA here, but NRF, the same thing goes for galvanic NUA. That's going to be after your red light, before your microneedling. Microneedling is always last because why? You're breaking your skin. Okay, great. So we now have a basic routine. And of course, there's variations of this, and you might want to do it differently, but I don't want my red light mask over oils or products. Okay. So that is the reasoning behind that. So I went through red light, I went through gua sha, and you're going to, like, for me, I get up in the morning. One of the first, and I tell you guys all the time, I have hopefully what I call good addictions. And what I'm addicted to in the morning is getting up and gua shaing the jawline. Okay. So that's, I don't have to think about it. If I need a little slip, I will use it. If my skin's a little oily, I don't. But now, and someone commented to me the other day on the channel, you know, this is how this YouTube social media things work. And people burn out from doing this because it takes a lot of work and energy to do this. But then you get the, like, Rajani, your lateral brow is falling and you look angry. And I kind of like those comments for me because this is my world. This is, you're getting lip lines, you're getting, people get offended. I don't get offended. But why am I talking about the lateral brow? For a guy, we have frontal bone up here. We have frontal bossing, and a lot of times the lower brow is okay. We don't necessarily want that lower brow that person commented for me. But what I don't do that you're going to do, I said in the morning I wake up and do jawline. What I don't do that you're probably going to do that maybe I need to start doing now is the way your gua sha will likely be designed like this. This is the way I designed mine. Is you're going to take it. I can just put the red light mode on here and take the vibration off. So there's two things. I take the vibration off because it might bother your ears. You can hear the buzz. But what you're going to do, what you might be more addicted to in the morning than me for the jawline, is you see how your gua sha will be designed, and you grab it and you're going to lift like that. Okay. Now, and that's for your lateral brow lifting. And when you wake up in the morning, the last thing you want is a sagging jowl and jaw and a sagging eye, especially for females. Also, of course, this has a corrugated end, and when you put the vibration on, that's for bone. I'm making a video for you guys because you asked me about bone. It's all about something called rank L and how the osteoclasts, they break down bone, are affected by rank L and how we can reduce it. So you get osteoblast function, osteoblasts build bone. That's what we want, because facial bone, your bone's on a bobblehead. You don't see resistance. Like when I told you got to walk every day, your body sees resistance, builds bone. So that video is coming for bone, for facial bone. I'm carving it together now. So in your routine, back to the notes, Rajani, right? Stay on track. And then we're going to questions. We're going to have some fun. Priming. Okay, so you now know about devices. You'll ask me in the Q&A about your devices. But I wanted to touch on priming. I learned a lot about it in Korea. And a lot of you had some questions about how do you combine the products with priming. Now, this is the product that I use to prime. You can have your own product. It's totally fine. This is exosomes, okay? Rose, plant cell, stem cell. Not just rose exosomes, stem cells, okay? And a lot of people ask about, well, you got to mix them up. Of course, lyophilization. And remember, when I'm in Korea, when I go see the factories, I was thinking about this morning, like, how do I manage my time, 2026? When I was in the salmon sperm factory, which is not exosomes, that's PDRN, I spent 3 days in the factory. So we went out, we had fun dinners, we had fun at night, we had in the morning was early mornings. So these are long days. But I spent 3 days in the factory. You guys will be bored to death about me sharing what's going on over there. But this is why I'm bringing that up, is this is lyophilization. And that's what I spend my time thinking about. Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, Lativo, all your toxins, your neuromodulators. Can you imagine, like, a Botox vial comes cold, Xeomin's warm. That's another toxin. Zeman does not need to even be refrigerated, but when I put water in that, you have live toxin. That's crazy to think. That's a process of freeze drying, if you will, called lyophilization. LYO, lyophilization. These stem cell exosomes are lyophilized. So when you open this up, and I'm getting to priming here in a minute, but I want you to understand, and you have to mix with this into your jar here, which is half full. So it's 20 mLs, it's small, but remember, this is a delivery vehicle for the goodness, which is your rose plant cell stem cells exosomes. And so this is, while the cream has amazing stuff in it, the main reason I use is delivery of these exosomes. Are they active? Yes. I'm putting a lecture together today. I'm lecturing in, actually it's in Hollywood. And you guys are so smart here. I kind of, as I'm putting the lecture together, I was like, I should do the lecture here before I lecture to the doctors down there, because you guys I'm going, oh, my group would understand this. My group would understand this. These guys would. And my lecture topic is, this is interesting what they always want me to speak on. And I just make up lectures on whatever they want because we're well-rounded here. It's on bio-regenerative treatments for the under eye. So that's what I did a little bit yesterday, is put that together. Bio means life. Regenerative means getting your cells back to where they were. Bioregenerative treatments for the under eye. Exosomes, PDRN, nanofat, microfat, everything we talk about on the channel. I'm talking about, I can't mention generic names of this stuff or real names of this stuff, but skin boosters, we're going to call it. Okay. So think that's my world, but that's lyophilization. So what's priming? Priming is using a product like this, and this is exactly what they do in Korea. I'll show you the front of this. Exego Bio, great company, one of the biggest in Korea, by the way. And I'm meeting with them again this Wednesday. And how's my hair looking, you guys? Because I used an exosome shampoo this morning, if you can believe that. So I guess I'm going to grow a little more hair here, but it was the first day using it. But what do you think? Still have some. So the priming, what they do is, depending on the procedure, they'll put this product on for 3 days before a microneedling. So if you're using something like plasmasomes, I have it somewhere here, you prime for 3 days before doing your microneedling. If you're getting a CO2 laser, I have a CO2 laser sitting right here. CO2, 10,600 nanometer wavelength. We can hammer faces with CO2s. And it's a burn. Let me just tell you that. CO2 is a burn. Of course, I can control the burn, the depth, wrinkles, surface, all those things. Either way, that's a 7-day priming in Korea. Okay. So I wanted to talk about priming because many of you have questions. Do you use exosomes like this, plant rose stem cell exosomes, vegan? Do you use that daily? I do. But I also, because you're healing daily, to be frank, you guys, we're healing daily. Every day, you're producing untoward cells, cytokines that are pro-cancer, exosomes that are pro-cancer, pro-inflammation. Okay. And you guys are going to be blown away by what's happening in the wellness field. I have great news on that for you. AI's made it so this is going to be ubiquitous. You guys are going to have access to the best healthcare in the world in the next 5 years, cheap. Yeah, I know it's a crazy thought, and you're not going to need government or politics to do it for you. So that's lyophilization. That's rose plant cell exosomes. And I wanted to cover that because you guys had so many questions on it. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I got a couple more things to say, and then we're going to open this wide open for you guys. Now, a little story here. I ordered these mugs. I had no money at the time. You see how old this mug is? And I think I ordered 250, whatever it was $700. Big decision for me. And then I ordered another set. You'll probably see a different one. I was able to buy like 1,000, and I hang on to them because they're hard to ship and they break. And so when we would give them away as gifts and so on, we'd have to reship. But I think everyone should have a Rajani MD coffee mug. You can vote over there so my team sees it. But I'm always wanting to get coffee mugs, and I'm always voted out of that. And yeah, we have a democracy here, and I always lose. It's a democratic world here in my world. So the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into your questions and routines was a little bit about red light and red light therapy and some misconceptions, and then a little bit into your general skincare. When you're if you have a home spa, and you should have one for your wellness, for your body too, for panels and so on. There's 3 or 4 things you don't want to get caught up on. Number one, everyone's worried about the number of bulbs. Well, let me tell you, it's the placement and the type of bulbs that you use. Do you think that I have a problem on my cheek over here? No. I know you can comment. I got 20 problems all over my face. There's no skin problem here. Maybe you get a brown spot or something, but there's no problem. Do I have a problem on my under eye? Absolutely. Wrinkles, fine lines, crow's feet. I haven't had Botox, by the way, maybe, I don't know, 8 months, a year or something, but I'll have underline eyes or lip lines. My point is, do I want the same? Let's say you will go buy an LED mask and there's got 8,000 bulbs. Most of them have like 100 to 300. I exaggerate. So let's say I want the one with 300 bulbs. That's the most. Well, you're wrong. You're not only wrong, you're dead wrong. And the reason is, I could care less. Obviously, we put bulbs over here. I fell off a ladder yesterday. Check that. So if you're wondering, yeah. But it's not my injecting finger. We're fine. I'm right-handed. But yeah, my whole body, when you fall, your whole body is beat. So I woke up like I got hit by a truck. So sorry about that. But I want way more coverage under my eye, over the top of my lips. And I don't personally care if you have one bulb over here. But if you had none around my mouth, this is where males age there, sure, but female age 2 to 3 times faster around the mouth, because females talk 4 or 5 times more than males. Okay, it's actually true. I don't know what the number is, but there's a lecturer on the circuit, and he can say that stuff. He's gay, he'll get away with saying stuff I can't say, but he'll say women talk more than men. But honestly, it's bone, alveolar bone, it's estrogen loss. But there is probably a talking factor, and maybe drinking through straws, all those things change it. But the point is, I'm not going to develop anything that's the same in the lower face than in the upper face and in the forehead and under the eyes and on the lips. It's the same way. If you're coming to see me, I'm not going to do the same filler for you in over here as I would in your forehead, where there's no fat and almost just a paper thin skin. When I grab the CO2 laser that's sitting next to me here, do you think I'm using the same settings above your lip and over here in your cheek and under your eye and on your neck? I use totally different settings on every part of the face, and overlap and fractionated. So your red light mask has to be developed by someone who knows aesthetics, who's thinking in the field, and don't look at the number of bulbs. Enough said on that. Number 2, I want to talk about something real quick, do you guys see? I want comments from you on this. Do you see the chin straps that are out there? A famous influencer, probably the most famous in the world. I don't know what to call her. She'd either be an influencer, a businesswoman. I think they're worth billions. Has a chin strap that came out. I think it's $80 or $100. And all it is a strap. People like them for the submentum, to tighten the jawline. It's a strap. No bulbs, no nothing. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Put in the comments there. When I'm in Korea, when I'm in Asia, people walk around with chin straps, even though they haven't had a procedure or surgery done. Why? It's a thing over there. People spend $200-300 on a chin strap. So why do I put a strap on these masks? This one, the Halo, is magnetic. Okay. This one, okay, the Plasma Glow Original actually has, so you hate this, Vivian, hate the strap. Some people don't like the strap. The majority of people love this strap because it not only has LEDs, but you can strap it up. So I learned from my Korean and Japanese friend in developing this. They're like, Rajani, why? Okay, great idea. You're putting it in the gym. Strap it up for us. Tighten it up. And there are people that don't like the strap. And for those people, because we developed this mask. You guys developed it with me. The only way I know what to do with my next generation of masks is because you tell me. You tell me where I falter, and I falter every day. You should falter every day too, because that's how you learn. So on the next version, for those that don't like the strap, there's magnets. And then you guys told me you liked hair. And I did a poll the other week. 90% of you are worried about your hairline. Me too. And if you've had a facelift or a surgical brow lift, you really better be worried about your hairline because you got a scar right up here, which I don't yet. But after that comment about my brows falling, I might need to go get surgery. But men, as you know, with the celebrities, it's the biggest mistake they make with surgery. They go get a little brow lift and a bleph. And I did a video on my IG the other day of someone who everyone's like, did he have surgery or not? He came out and said he didn't. If you look, I know all this stuff, but I'm not going to get on social media and critique other people. And I work with some of these people. I can't go out and critique these people. Any doctor who is looking at celebrities and picking them apart does not see celebrity patients. There's a little pearl for you, because a celebrity patient's never going to someone who does facial analysis of celebrities, right? That's just in the industry. And when you see people, you don't take a phone. You just don't take a phone. So, okay, that's the chin trap. That's LED. Now, I want to come and take some, interact with you guys a little bit. I know we haven't got to the skincare routine. Maybe you guys don't care about the skincare routine, but I'm happy to answer questions about skincare routine. And by the way, over in Asia, streaming lasts for hours and hours and days. So I can probably stream longer than you guys can stay with me. I don't know if I want to test that today. We got a big hockey game tonight, and I don't want to be here all day, but I can probably. Yes to the coffee mug, Sherry. Thank you. I can't hold my coffee mug because of my injury here. I'm going right-handed. Do you ever know that you drink with your left hand, by the way? I'm looking for my left hand. I'm right-handed to grab the coffee mug. You learn things when you lose function. Okay, I think this is good to get into. Al RF2FR. I like you guys' names. I want to know the order of skincare. Let's go through the basic routine of skincare. I think this is wonderful, and then we can go into details for each one of you. Okay, cleansed skin is key, and you're going to see some things come this year from me on cleansing the skin and on water. Okay, but cleanse your skin. Here's the thing about morning cleansing. I did not wash my face this morning. Okay, you can cleanse your eyes. There's some things that you might want to cleanse, and there are cool things that I can share with you down the road, but there's certain areas you might want to cleanse. Of course, your mouth. And if you're using the red light, and that's a whole nother topic we should get into, because I learned a lot about bone, alveolar bone, and the dentition in red light that we can talk about. But cleansing the skin is key. In the morning, you have your natural oil. So if you're not sleeping with your dog or cat or whatever it is, and if you want to sleep with them, it's great. No shade there. But if you are, honestly, the bed isn't as clean as it could be. You want to clean your face. Okay. So cleansing is key. But the natural oils in the morning are fine. If you want to cleanse your skin, and some of you wear makeup, you want to double cleanse at night. That's with an oil and a cleanser. And in the morning, when you cleanse, you might find some leftover makeup. Cleanse skin. See, we could talk about an hour of cleansing. Okay. So the next step, let's talk about the first layer. Here's a general rule of thumb. It's going to be your serums. Okay, so what I do, and we're working on Gen 4 hyaluronic acids here. So I happen to have like a bunch on my shelf that we're testing. But my HA serum, for instance, hyaluronic acid serum, has argireline in it. Why argireline? Because that slows down some muscle movement. It's a peptide, and you want to slow down some muscle movement on the face, so you don't need toxins. But that's something that I would use: hyaluronic acid serum. Your next step is going to be for the morning. There's nothing wrong with using your actives in the morning. There's nothing magic that says you can't use an active is alpha hydroxy acids, a retinol. Those are two of the most common actives. You can go into esoteric things like you might be using different acids on your face. A glycolic wash, or a glycolic wash would be very mild, but like a 10 or 20 or 30% glycolic, like almost where you would call it a peel. There's nothing saying you can't use those in the morning. Why do we use them at night? Honestly, they don't degrade with the sun in the day. The reason is if you get a little inflammation in the day and then you get sun exposure, that leads to inflammatory hyperpigmentation, call it that. And so it's all about the sun. Sun is amazing. I went through with you my vitamin D levels, how low, even though I got a lot of sun. You need K2D3 for your bone to stay young. So I want you to get some sun. But if you're getting sun, use your actives at night. We'll leave it at that. So that's the only reason we say no actives in the morning. So what are you going to go to in the morning? Like this is an example of an AHA cream, alpha hydroxy acid cream. And you're going to find in an AHA cream, multiple acids. I put multiple acids, and it's not just alpha hydroxys. I put a beta hydroxy acid in here. Okay, so that's what it would look like. A beta hydroxy, it's oil soluble. And that would be like salicylic. And you want that for pores because that's an alpha hydroxy acid. It's not going to get into your pores. The beta will. It is called alpha hydroxy acid cream, but look in yours. A lot of times we put beta hydroxy acids in there too. And, just packaging. I spend a lot of time thinking about packaging. Just to make, here's a retinol A serum. That will be an active. But just to come up with this packaging, this is locked and closed, I think. Just to come up with this packaging, a lot of thought goes into that. You would be surprised how hard it is to make something like that sustainably. So, okay, so that's your actives in the morning. That if you're using them, but those are generally used at night. Okay, so we'll stop there. What would after your serum be? Like for me, it's two things. I'm kind of addicted to this right now, and that's the Exobomb. Okay, so Exosome serum, or something like your moisturizer, like a Plasma Restore Volufiline. Now, here's the thing: no matter what you're using, I don't care if you guys are using mine or not. I'm looking into this screen, but I know you guys are more over there, I suppose. But whether you're using mine or not, I don't care. It's whatever you're using, we want to give you value. So look in yours, because here's the key in the morning to understand. Vitamin C. And I got a video coming tomorrow that you're going to need to watch. NEED. I'll use the word need because it's really important about a brand new study, what we found with eating vitamin C, how much and how do you do it? Does it actually get to the surface of the skin? And that's tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. This is a retinol. I showed you that, right? Normally, no one would ever put a vitamin C in a retinol, but I do. This is Volufiline. Yes, you would normally put maybe a vitamin C in here, but you definitely can if you're using THD ascorbate. I want you to look in your products for THD ascorbate. You know who's the best with that? The Japanese. So when I'm over there at THD ascorbate, of course the Koreans are good with everything, but I learned THD ascorbate in Japan, and I almost believe it was invented there. Don't quote me on that one, but it seems like it was. THD ascorbate is oil soluble, stable, up to 20 times more potent than what? L-ascorbate. So THD ascorbate is something you want to look at. So when I'm talking about the morning routine, I want you to have a vitamin C. And THD ascorbate is the one I want you to have. Do I like L-ascorbate? Because that's in all the products that you might have. Here's the problem. And I had L-ascorbate creams for 20 years. I had L-ascorbate in my line and a vitamin C serum back in 2010. I've had all this. People talk about copper peptides now. I developed my own copper peptide cream for my CO2 laser, which I talked to you about. That's right over there. Of course, I've had 5 different CO2 lasers over the years because the little thing inside burns out. But I developed a copper peptide cream because the laser surgeries I was doing were burns. But I used L-ascorbate. Okay, I would put it in there. L-ascorbate's more unstable. It's water soluble. Do I like it? Absolutely. It's in peels. So one of my favorite peels, overall peel, is a VI peel. And the VI peel has L-ascorbate in there. It's a good choice for peels. But not really for your skincare anymore. If you're a home gamer and you want to make it up, I'm all for it. You get your vitamin C, L-ascorbic acid, and you mix it up fresh in whatever cream you want. You have to know a little bit about solubility. There are companies that do this. And you mix it, you fresh, and you use it within 4 weeks. Got it. So that's how you use L-ascorbate in peels, but this is THD, tetra 4 hexyl decyl ascorbate. Tetra means 4 hexyl decyl groups ascorbate. So THD ascorbate. That's what I want you to look for in your morning routine. When you go to your night, I don't want to harp on your morning and evening routines because I want to get to your question. But when you go to your nighttime routine, you definitely want to cleanse. I want a poll here. It would be nice to see how many people wear makeup. I kind of wish I could wear makeup because then I could get up in the morning, put that on, and just look perfect. You guys all look perfect with your makeup. But that's guys typically don't. I certainly don't want to. But imagine you wake up with little dark circles and you just put that stuff underneath there. You guys are so lucky. Makeup. No makeup, just eyeliner. See, I didn't even know what eyeliner was until like a few years ago. But then I saw it on someone. I was like, oh, their eyes look gorgeous. What is that? It was eyeliner. So I guess I liked it. I need to know what order for my skin. Okay, we'll go through specific orders. I only wear silk powder. Look at that, silk powder. See, I know a lot of silk stuff in the industry, but I don't know silk powder. I'm not a makeup guru. And people wanted me to bring a makeup line out. And I'm like, that's not my wheelhouse. I could learn it, I guess. Women, no makeup, only eyeliner. That's so interesting that people wear eyeliner. I would have thought like under eye, over lip is the number one area I get asked often in clinics, but under eye is the number one and lip would be number 2 or 3. And then the lower face. So I would have thought that everyone was going to tell me where under eye concealer would be number 1. So, God, you guys know makeup. I love this. Okay, I only wear mascara. That's the stuff that makes the lashes long, right? Mascara. Is that right? Mascara makes the lashes long. Yeah, got it. Long lashes do look good. I will say it's an attractive look. Do you know why it's an attractive look a little bit? The female eye is round and wide open. I told you the forehead of the male has frontal bossing from in utero, and the eyes not as much as closed, and the eyes wide open. You learn a lot of this stuff in places where they have a lot of people converting, or you know, people convert male to female, and all kinds of different people around different parts of the world. You guys know what I'm talking about. And they're trying to create that look. It's very fascinating. You learn very quickly what makes a female look female and what are the attractive features, and a male look male, because when people are converting around or they change their look from day to day, see what they do. Makeup looks better on a good skin. No skincare, Vivian. Yeah, I know. I like to try and have better skin personally. Bronzer and lip gloss. Love getting false lashes, but can't put on myself. I would think the eyes would react to that glue and everything. I couldn't imagine what you guys have to do with that fake eyelash stuff. Although, to be honest, I think it's an attractive look to have eyelashes, because I see the people taking off their brows now. And for years, it was plucking brows, and then it was putting them back on with PRF and everything. So interesting. Okay, we could do a whole channel on makeup. I noticed with your mask gua sha supplements. I missed that comment. I thought that might be a good one for us to dive into. I noticed with your mask gua sha supplements, I do look better. I'm 52, soon to be 53. Thank you so much. I was reading it because I thought it was going to be a good question for the group, but that is a good for me to hear it and boost my serotonin and norepinephrine. Okay, so I went through a lot of what I wanted to go through in terms of the routine. I will say the one thing that everyone, a lot of people end up missing are sheet masks, even me. And I keep these in the fridge. If I know a lot of you will comment because you're using them, and people make these bombastic comments that I love to put up, but I just don't. And they say, Doc, it looks like I've had a facelift for a day after I wear the mask. And I don't even put those up sometimes. Maybe I should, because I know what you're talking about, because I now wear them on planes, and people end up recognizing you on the planes because they're like, oh, that must be the doctor from YouTube because who else, what other guys on there wearing a sheet mask? But when I get off the plane, I got to look reasonable. And the amount of hydration and occlusiveness, you see, you have humectants and emollients, and I've done videos on these. And everyone says you should do 20 more because maybe you guys haven't seen my video on humectants and emollients. Humectants hydrate, emollients give you that filter skin look because they give you that smooth afterglow. So you'll find a lot of humectants and emollients in sheet masks, and it seals it in. And even these are 15, 20 minute sheet masks. If you're in Arizona even and it's super dry in the summer, or places that are dry, you will find that you can have this on your face for about 40 minutes. And on a plane, I can have this on my face, and that's a dry environment typically for 60, 80 minutes. So a lot of the plane rides I'm on, by the way, are at 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 hours at times, 15. So you see there sheet masks. So don't forget about sheet masks, because for $3 a pop, you do get filter face for a few days. I think one thing we do need to talk about today is the lower face aging. I deal with that with a lot of clients. I have that myself. It's something I struggle with. So I'm conscious of it. Females have it 5X, 4X, 3X, and there's reasons for that. And females care 3X, 5X more than men do so far. We still haven't gathered the male market, but testosterone plays a role in that. Okay, so testosterone, women do take it exogenously. I know you take creams. We can talk about testosterone creams. I know a lot of the women I work with are on the pellets. Okay, they're 30 to 50 years old. And then a lot of older would be on patches. And there's many ways to get testosterone, but men are on it obviously their whole life. So we just don't see some of that lower face aging, or they have it, they don't care about it. You've seen it. I mean, you comment, you'll see some guys and their lower face looks 2 to 3 times older than the upper face. That's how we word it in aesthetics. So I do want to get into lower face aging because it's huge value. And when I talked about developing an LED mask, there's a word that comes to mind: incongruency. So when people look at the number of bulbs in a mask and ones that don't address the under eye, don't address the upper lip, or don't address the jowls in the lower face, and you'll hear influencers critique masks all the time. Now you're going to look and you're going to go, oh, the number of bulbs, useless. The type of bulbs, it's the dispersion of the bulbs. If you ever hear laser mask, never buy it. If you hear the word laser mask, I tell you, I got lasers over here. I got IPLs. I got home IPLs. I test everything. I've used lasers in practice for 30 years. If you hear laser mask, do not use it, or they're lying to you. And the reason is laser is coherent light. Laser is a focused beam of light. It's coherent. LEDs disperse. So you would never want a laser mask on your face if it's real. Okay. So laser is a defined wavelength of light that's coherent. And I use lasers all the time. And you might say, well, it's the wavelength. My IPL machine goes from 420, and I can filter it up to just under 1100 for hair removal. We use the low 430 would be for acne, 430 nanometers. You go up to 480. Okay, 480 is what we use for teeth, as an example. But then as you get into 500, 530, that's for vascular lesions, mid 400s for brown lesions. That's IPL. IPL is broad-based light, not coherent light, with a filter. So understand, if you see wavelengths over 830 to 900, I wouldn't use that mask. So I could put anything into this mask. I could put laser into the mask. You wouldn't want it. I could put a 1052 into this mask. You shouldn't want it. And I could make the irradiance and the joules, I could make it more powerful. You wouldn't want that. Obviously, I can do anything. I have access to everything, and the best engineers in the world. And on that note, before we get into a couple more of your questions, I wanted to, some of you have EMS masks. I test everything. I don't make one. You don't have to buy anything. I test everything, including galvanics, which I'm sure you're going to ask me about. But I want to let those who don't know, here's an example of an EMS mask. And you can get them with chin straps. But what they do is EMS, electromyomuscular, whatever you want to use, stimulation. They stimulate your muscles to build your muscles. Muscle builds bone. So probably the reason maybe I didn't break my fingers is because I do work out my hands, because if you play hockey, you want strong hands and wrists with the hand devices, and there's pulling on the bones. And this is studied by Dr. John Joseph, a friend of mine at UCLA. I'm going to see him in Hollywood where I'm lecturing. That lecture's in March, the one I'm putting together now. That I think I'll get a select group of you. If you guys are interested, let me know this. That lecture I'm preparing. You see, I have to submit the lecture 2 months before because it's CME, Certified Medical Education, and it needs to be approved that it's unbiased. So I submit that lectures two months before they get it approved, and then I lecture on it. It's on bioregenerative under eye. If you want, because you guys are so smart on this channel, if you want me to give you that lecture before the show, we can do a closed group. I think this might be fun. And I'll give you the lecture here. I can't do it publicly, but we could do it to say 500, 1,000, maybe 2,000 people. I'd have to do an email opt-in list, but if you ever wanted to do that, we could do that, and I could give you that. That would be kind of fun to lecture. But understand what Dr. John Joseph, who I see at those lectures, UCLA, he studied pulling on bone builds facial bone. EMS is intriguing because it does make the muscle move. So if you might have EMS, you might have blown an arm, a bicep, or EMS, you might use it for your back, different things that would make EMS. If you think of M-Sculpt, maybe you guys know M-Sculpt, you go in, you get a little subscription, and it moves your abs, so it works out and you don't have to. M-Face, that works out the muscles. The idea is when you pull on bone, you build facial bone. Your face is on a bobble. It's hard to build your face bone. EMS works your bone. The problem with these masks, and we can go through them, as they exist today, the muscles that lift your face, the lower face here, zygomaticus minor, zygomaticus major, those are the ones you want to build because they lift. Let me get a drink of coffee here. Because they lift. And you don't want to build your depressor muscles, depressor anguli oris. You don't want to build your labii inferioris because they pull your face down. So developing the right EMS mask is important. There's also a muscle here that people ding when you inject Botox at the masseter. You can ding a muscle that comes here. So if you inject the masseter too far anterior, you get a droop of the mouth. And of course, that will go viral. And if you did it on a celebrity, it would go crazy. They'd be like, I droop my mouth with Botox, and you're finished. So you have to inject posterior. But that's a muscle that's very interesting that a lot of the EMS masks don't get. If you have anything, write it down. And so, yes, that is EMS. So know about EMS. Now, gosh, you guys got some good questions here. Do you want to go to is there a sale page that people want to know about? Is that what they're asking? What is it?
About the jowls and facial exercises, just answering some questions.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go on to some exercises on that. Yeah, you guys want to see the lecture? Diane, Deborah. Yeah, I think that would be super fun. Yeah, you want to see that lecture. Yeah, I think it would be fun. And then you guys can give me feedback because honestly, as I'm putting the lecture together on bioregenerative under eyes, what is it? It's PDRN, exosomes, PRF, all the things that you guys already know about from being on this Develop an EMS mask, Doc. I have a lot of things in development. Tracy, you're going to know about it for sure if you follow on the channel. Not only will they be typically less expensive, but they'll be 10 times better than anything out there in the market. At least double or twice, 2 or 3 times better than anything on the market because I can obviously see the problems. And the reason is a lot of people reviewing masks, a lot of people reviewing the products. People can review a product and say, hey, I like how it worked. I like how you charge it. I liked all those things. But if you're not seeing hundreds of patients and clients and hearing back from them what they're seeing and measuring with 3D imaging what the outcome is, you're just getting empty opinion. That ends up what it ends up being. But in this case, I actually see people to know A, what the problem is, B, I intervene by stopping muscle movements, by injecting products. So I'm intervening, but then I'm seeing the outcome of thousands of people. So some people like that. If you like that, that's how it goes. But I already know how to develop that and make it better. So you're going to see some things come that we have a lot. What's the best 3D imager? I use Quantificare. So if you want to look up what 3D imaging I use, it's Quantificare. If you can pin a comment, if you see one that you're really liking to be, the moderators here will put one. Pick me, I'll be your crash test dummy on anything developer. The thing is, when I develop things, like when I develop, red light masks, when I'm developing EMS, when I'm developing all the products that I develop, the lip, oral lip, we measure. So the people have to be people that I see over time that I can measure. And also there's no compounding variables. So when we're testing the lip and mouth, when we're testing things, it's like, okay, you're going to use the lip and mouth for 6 months, no Botox, no fillers, no change in skincare, nothing. Otherwise, I'm not going to know what made the change, right? So otherwise, yes, I could easily use all of you here, and that would be super fun. And maybe there are ways we can do it where you guys can test you give me opinions. I think I look better and everything. That's great, but we won't be able to measure you. But you will be able to say, hey, it was cumbersome. We want the strap. We don't want it. I think that would be super cool. Lower face. Oh, I need battery. Just give me a second here, you guys. This is probably important for me to have a little battery. Right? You guys want me to have battery. Okay, let's get this before I'm gone. Let's see here. Okay, we got battery. We have power. By the way, in life, you guys know the new commodity that everyone needs is power. So understand that. Everything else, software, everything's gone. It's power. So invest where we get power. Okay, lower face looks softer and not as sculpted. I use NUA and it's great. What additional combo would help? This is amazing. So first of all, use NUA over a galvanic if you're choosing. Many of you have galvanics, often have a little probe, goes on one side to the other. Galvanics are electrical current that goes from one side to the other. They're good for absorption. They're good for muscle stimulation, a bit of toning. But RF is much more powerful. That's why we use it in clinic. And when I go to Korea, they're not using galvanics as like an afterthought, like your exfoliation, like your hydrofacial. RF is your power. So you want to, it's amazing that we have this at home for your med spa. So lower face. So what else can you use other than NUA? Okay. Are you using red light? So you use a mask first, use your red light mask first, supercharge your mitochondria. Consistency is key, team. Consistency. Then you're going to use your NUA. And I don't have it here, but the next way I would go, especially for lower face, plasmasomes, or at least derma rolling. Again, you don't have to use my stuff. I can tell you about my stuff. I can tell you about most other people's stuff because I study it. But derma rolling, microneedling, 0.25 with a great product. This is part of my lecture I'm doing down in Hollywood. I'm going through some depths, studies of depths of product. 0.25 is for absorption. That's all you need. Deep acne scarring, you can go to 0.75 millimeters. You don't need more than that. If you're going to more than that, get RF microneedling for acne scars. 0.5 is good if you're doing dry derma rolling without a product. Remember, something like plasmasomes, or you can ask me what you're using, and I'll tell you. But plasmasomes are pointed signal. Think exosomes, except synthetically made in a USA certified lab with pointed signals for your skin. These are stem cell exosomes focused on inflammation. So add microneedling to it. What can I do for under eye hollow? This is from Deborah. Minus surgery or filler. Okay, so Deborah, you're so common here, girl. How many people say to me, they come into a clinic and they'll be like, I inject faces for a living. I do CO2. I do all this aggressive stuff. They'll say, Doc, I'm here, got under eye hollow. I don't want surgery. I don't want filler. It's so common. That's what my lecture's on. So Deborah, you should come to my pre-lecture lecture. We just can't tell the conference. I'm not even going to tell you what conference this one's for so that I don't get in trouble with the Congress. But what are you going to do? Okay, you don't want surgery got under eye hollow. Are injections at play? Because autologous means from yourself. Allogenic is a word that means from someone else. So think of the fat Renuva would be allogenic. It's fat from a dead person injected in your body. And I know, Deborah, you don't want that. Xenogenic means it's from another species. So if you get exosomes, they could be xenogenic, or like salmon sperm, DNA facial. That's xenogenic. It's from salmon. So for you, Deborah, if you've maximized what you can do, you've gua sha'd, you use Volufiline cream, you can use full face for 4 or 5 weeks and then use it only in the under eye, the tear drop. If you've done that, and you want to step it up and you have a true hollow, which is often caused from the orbital septum relaxing and the fat pad herniating through, plus bone loss. And as I told you, I'll get the video coming in a couple of weeks for vibration to stop and help prevent bone loss. And I'm showing you a study on that. If you've done those things, think of PRF, platelet-rich fiber, because it's autologous. It's an injection, but it's all you. No prior history of any cases of blindness or occlusion with real PRF. And I tested this week whole new spinners and methods to make PRF, and we're stepping it up to a whole nother level from what we have now. So I don't know, Deborah, if that's in the cards. Donna, do I put anything on my face first before the red light? No. When you're using red light, okay, so each little thing in here has 3 different bulbs in it, okay? And this one has PEMF, okay? PEMF does not see light. You got 630 nanometers. That's superficial. You want that hitting your skin. You don't want a barrier to it. Near infrared is a longer wavelength, so it penetrates deeper. It's going to go through anything. And you can hold this up to your hand. You'll see dispersion of the light. It's why the type of bulb is way more important than the number of bulbs. And they should never give off appreciable heat. Any light or energy put into a cell will produce a minute amount of heat. So you're going to feel that. But you're not going to get heat production from a gray mask because that's fat loss. So why is 0.5 dermal rolling recommended to do dry without product? Oh, some people don't want to spend the money for slip. I don't recommend. Dry rolling's good, but not everyone has money. But everyone without money, I still feel should have access to my knowledge. They should have access to options that are inexpensive, and they should be able to get some results. As you get looking better, guess what's going to happen? You're going to make more money. And people don't like that statement, and you can take offense to that statement, but there's reality. Remember, I travel the world. This is what I do for a living. I have different conversations that you'd be surprised about. But as you look a little better, even if people don't react to you better, you haven't changed your look that much, you feel better about yourself. The minute you feel better about yourself, you walk with a little confidence, you talk with a little confidence, you're going to make more money. That's how it goes. You have to put some work into this. Money just doesn't come. But as you make more money, you're going to spend it on how you look. And the good news, all this stuff's getting cheaper. It's why everyone here should be building out your own home spa, which should include your red light, your NUA, your galvanics, if you like that. And I can give you the order in which you should spend your money and where you don't want to waste your money. Is Plasma Glow LED Gua Sha for lower face and eye bags? To me, this is, and remember, I do RF microneedling. I do CO2 aggressive lasers, erbium. I've owned Ulthera. I've owned Thermages in the past. Okay, I don't own them anymore, and I can tell you how they use them in Korea. There's more monopolar radio frequencies, Thermage style devices coming over here. When I was over there, there were 3 companies last trip in Korea that pulled me over and said, Rajani, would you endorse my product? And I watched what they did with they're all monopolar RFs. Endorsing products isn't something I do, but people ask. I don't mind them asking. Okay, so yes, lower feet. Gua Sha to me is sculpted my lower face for me. But and you can see this is why I designed it so big. Don't miss the vibration because you don't want to miss your bone. But here's the thing why I made it like exactly this design, because I wanted you to be able to come down here and do this part of the neck, because and I use it over the thyroid. There's studies on LED light and thyroid, and I'm very happy with how the data looks on red light and thyroid. If you don't want to, you can just avoid your thyroid here. But for me, from what I see, I actually put it over my thyroid. I wave it to my eyes. I talked to one of the smartest eye doctors that I think is probably in the world, definitely in the country, about red light last week. We were talking about red light and macular degeneration because Harvard just got their first red light. Well, this is 9 months ago now. They got their first red light for eyes, but it's been in Europe forever for certain types of macular degeneration. But I also, of course, we have the lip and mouth. While I'm doing gua sha, the last stroke, because it's going to make it dirty, I do over in the mouth and over the lips. Because no matter what you say, who was it the other day? I mean, Tom Brady's got his new girlfriend. All these guys can't keep track of what they have, but all these guys men who you guys find attractive have lips. So lips are important to guys too. We just don't want them blown up with fillers. But red light's a natural way, as is. Let me grab this for you. Oh, this is my Glow White. This is teeth whitening. I thought it was my lip enhancer, but somewhere around here, there's a lip enhancer. But imagine now when you talk about combination of products, here's a lip enhancer with retinol. You just don't see that every day. So you get immediate plumping of the lips, no real color, but a bit of sheen, I guess. That's what people say that's in there. And then imagine the last stroke you're going to treat here. But remember, it's doctor developed. So when I develop the shape of it, you're going to say that's kind of funky. But the reason is this is for bone corrugated because you want special points for your what's called your rank L for your osteoclast and blast production. But that's a study. You'll see that video come, but you'll see this is developed for surface area because I have a lot of people that use this on their cellulite. So you wanted some size, but remember it's built. For forehead lifting, there's a muscle up here called your frontalis. And the frontalis divides differently for us all. Some people it divides way up here. Some people, they don't even have it in the middle. But when you take this is not built to put in the middle. You can see it doesn't fit well. It's built to go here, okay? And it's not like just one shape because if it doesn't fit perpendicular, you put it on an angle and it fits all foreheads. And then this has the corrugated edge. So that's why this here was developed the way it is. Gua sha is amazing for the lower face and the brow lifts, of course. I'm starting to see results from the lip enhancer. I'm enjoying it. Consistency is key. And 100% of people, in my opinion, see results from this lip enhancer. The only reason you fail with it is because your expectations were too high. It's not 3 vials of lip filler. You're not going to walk around like the biggest lip person in the world. And you got to use it. This is something we studied over 30 days. If people use it for 30 days and stopped, their lip size maintained for the next 30 days. There's peptides in here, there's retinols, and there's immediate enhancers. So it's a next level product. And I think we sell it for $50. It's like a money loss for me. When you think about packaging this, making it medical grade, people dissect my products. I can't come up with $10 products. I don't put heavy metals. There's no junk in these things. That takes a lot of money. How many PRF under eyes before you see results? I've only done one. I still look hollow. Okay. For me, it took me 2 or 3 sessions to start. This was 5 years ago. You can go back and look at my old videos. Go back to my video. I don't take any video down. Go back and look at me 12 years ago. And then look today. I did 2 or 3 sessions over a course of a year. Now I haven't done PRF under the eyes in it's got to be 18 months. I did it last time on my YouTube channel. So go back and look up Rajani gets PRF under eye. When you're not now, when you leave. And you'll see my whole procedure done. That's the last time I had PRF under eye. Do I want it? Of course I'd take it. I haven't had the opportunity. Yeah, Rajani, you got a spinner, you got blood rush. I haven't had the opportunity. Haven't had the will, I suppose. Can I talk about the lower eye device? And then I'm going to go to the one on, okay, let's do the one on the screen. And then Alexa, they had a question in the lower device. I have a dark spot on my upper cheek. What can I use to get rid of it? Oh yeah, me too. Okay, dark spot on the upper. Here's some low hanging fruit for a dark spot. If you, and this is not medical advice. I don't know your skin type, your color. I'm a skin type 4 for reference for you guys. I will grab I will start with a 10% TCA, a couple layers, and then neutralize. You could use an alpha hydroxy acid, 30%. So that's your at-home peel. A very easy way to do it, to be frank, if you only have one spot, you can literally go into a clinic. They put, you can put a special type of tape we put around a spot, and we blast it with an IPL. Look at it one more time. And that would be around like a 540 filter, somewhere in that range. So IPL, intense pulse light, a laser. You could use a laser to get rid of it. If you go into your dermatologist, they're probably going to want to do liquid nitrogen. You can get hypopigmentation. So I don't advise against that. If you're skin type 1 to 3, you get away with it. If you're me or above, dark and darker, you don't want that because you could have a white spot there. And for my skin type, it's going to last, it could last 6 months. And if you're darker than me, it could last lifetime. So be careful. How can we find out what skin type we have? It's great. Pretty easy to go online nowadays. There's a score that you could take. The most difficult skin type to figure out, if you're 1, you're albino. No problem. If you're 2, you're very white. If you're 3, you're a regular white person that gets a little bit of a tan. But skin type 2 is going to be someone who burns all the time if you get sun. Skin type 3 tolerates them. Skin type 4 would be me. So I can tan, I can get dark. I could potentially burn. And then 5 and 6 are darker. But there's a scale in a questionnaire you can answer. You can look it up. Very easy to know your skin type nowadays. And there's machines that tell us, but we often don't have to go to that. I started using my Exobomb, and oh my God, my skin was so hydrated, very plump. You guys need to try it. I'm in love with this skincare. Yaneth Ortega. Yaneth, I'm meeting with them Wednesday. This is the Koreans. And this is what, I've developed my own Korean products. These are all my sheet masks are made in Korea to my specs. Nobody else has the ingredients or the list. I go in there, I literally pick out this ingredient, that ingredient. I smell it, I feel it. No impurities. These are $3 a piece when you bundle them. Again, that's pretty much a money loss for me. You can't develop a product like that for $3. That's real, that has what I would put on my face in it. And Exobomb was one of the first workings we've had with Korea and the Korea products, because I've been there, I've been to the factory, I studied it, I looked at the exosomes under lights and laser lights that they use to flash them, because you need an electron microscope, and it's lyophilized. So I showed you guys this vial that's lyophilized that you mix with it. It's next level stuff, Exobomb. And guess what I got? I ordered enough, so we got it down. It's $99, right, for a exosome product on your skin. And if you have questions, does it absorb and all that stuff, I have the answers. I've been to the factory. I use it priming before procedures. And I interviewed the owner, developer, and scientists who aren't even associated with the company, and they want me to publish those interviews. That could be interesting, but a lot of times I don't put them on my channel because how many people want to see that stuff? I don't know. I've been getting the original Botox for 5 years. Will Dysport work the same? Dysport will work better. Okay. Not affiliated, this is the kind of stuff the people making videos from their couch or their bedroom can't tell you. Again, I know toxins that you guys don't even know. Let me tell you, Jeuveau are the people who ran Botox, who left it and made Jeuveau, then got sued by Botox. And I know all these people. They got sued by Botox because it was the same product. And I know where it's made. I've been there. I've been to the zone, not the factory, the zone. Okay. If we go to Dysport is about 1.3 times more powerful than Botox. They all have binding proteins except for Xeomin. Who knows this kind of stuff? Who gives you, give me in the comment section, you just tell me who gets on a live that can tell you and been to the factories and can tell you factual information about these products off their head like this. I work 14, 16 hours a day to bring you this, but this is the kind of stuff that's important for you to know your journey. It's not fluff. So when I mix up Dysport, and I mix them all, I've injected them all. When I mix Dysport up, I like it because I know you're going to get a better result. And I got to be careful here because people hang me upside down because companies don't like this, but let me rephrase this to a nice way. I know when I inject Dysport into somebody, I'm going to keep that patient because my toxin treatment is going to look better than everyone else's toxin. And if you know anything about aesthetics in terms of the injectable market, if people like their toxin result and they feel like it got better, they're not going anywhere else. That's how people evaluate a clinic. So for anyone owning a med spa out there, if people like your Botox style injections, so never scrimp on Botox. Everyone wants to dilute it. And if you do, you've lost the game. And I call it a game because there's so many med spas out there. To many owners, it's a game. It's not a game to me. You get one life, you get one body, and 3 months of your life ruined is an issue. So you're going to like Dysport's going to. Now, here's how Dysport got a bad name. And I did this to myself. When Dysport came out, 2009-ish, 10 was the first people like me that would have gotten it. 11, I think, is when you guys would have had access. Somewhere in there. I injected myself in my forehead to test it. And I woke up, I'm never going to need a bleph. I woke up a week later and I had the heaviest eyes I'd ever seen. And I didn't put it together. I just forgot that I'd injected myself. And I was like, dang, I need a bleph. This happened overnight. Did my estrogen plummet? Men do have estrogen, you can measure it, but that was a joke. But I realized, I injected Dysport. Why? Dysport spreads a little more. And remember, all toxin in the forehead only can lower, can't lift, because that's your frontalis muscle, it's anatomy. So just be mindful if you're doing your forehead with Dysport, you want someone who uses it on a regular basis. So I could go on for so long. What is Dysport? Dysport is a neuromodulator toxin, and it's a toxin. And remember, you guys want all natural? Well, guess what? Botulinum toxin is a natural process. So Botox is a natural product. Everyone's like, oh, it's a toxin. It's natural. It occurs in real life. Doesn't get more natural than that. It's lyophilized. Okay, like my Exobomb, it's lyophilized, but it's real life. So it's a toxin like Botox, Dysport, Letybo, Xeomin. Vivian asked Dysport or Xeomin for forehead. Xeomin is a softer look. So it's like a baby Botox look. Not microtox, but baby Botox. So baby Botox look. And so for the forehead, either of them. Honestly, any toxin can work. Any FDA approved real toxin. The biggest problem you're going to have in the world of toxins, a third. I'm going to use a number, a third, and a third is that a number? It's a fraction. A third of the clinics, and people aren't going to like this. But I believe we're kind of at that point. I hate to even say it, but a third of the clinics are probably using fake or imported toxin. Now, I could be wrong. It could be a fourth or a fifth, but depending on what part of the country you go to, the ultra competitive markets, Dallas, Florida, a little bit of New York, LA for sure, and some of the lawless places in the world, in the country, it's a third are using fake. So you got to have real. Can you please feature the under eye red light device? This is so important. When I say I develop stuff, it's we. It's you and me on this channel because you helped me develop stuff. You guys developed this for me in a sense. This took a lot of developing. We first came out with the patches, okay, and these, lost that. And so these are under eye patches that are moldable, okay? And they're built specifically, the red light. See if I can turn one on and see if mine's charged here even so you guys can see. Sometimes you can see light through the screen. Okay, so I don't know if you can catch that. I think you can see. So there's two modes to this, okay? And they're like this. And there's patches that infuse product, and they're developed the shape. Yeah, it's the shape of my company, okay? And it says right and left on it, okay? But the shape is made for the under eye. I developed it actually with a round circle so you can get up to the medial canthal area. And it's red light, 6:30 and 8:30. But the under eye is super sensitive to light, and maybe some people get brown spots. So mode 2, this is where you help me develop it. It turns off near infrared, and near infrared in 5% of the population can cause a little bit of extra pigment. So I listened to you. We developed this. And I added PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field. The earth has electromagnetic field. But when you pulse electromagnetic field, it resets the channels in your cells. So your cell has a sodium potassium channel, but it also lets exosomes in, okay? Other things in through these channels. PEMF was used in back pain, and it's been studied for bone malunion. So when bones break and the bone doesn't form again, malunion, PEMF is often used. But it increases blood flow, it resets your cells, and it's great for aesthetics. So I added PEMF on mode 2. And then you guys told me, see, when I say I developed and all these things, sometimes I'll put a bombastic title up somewhere on, that's social media. But it's all of us here. You guys said, hey, I don't want to have to buy the patches, the infusion patches all the time. I love them and I like them, the sticky patches. Some people find them too sticky, some not enough. And then I developed this. This is the holder. I literally went over to Asia, met with the people and said, we need to get a way to use it without the patches because my people are asking for me. And then I sent these out free to everyone. So if you've purchased one and you never got one of these, now it comes with them. I'm not charging you if you already bought it. Obviously I lose money on that, right? I went over, developed it, made it. We had 5 different ways we could do it. This is the one I came up with after my team tested it. And I sent it to people for free. And I'm not trying to get accolades for that. There's haters and there's people that say, oh, whatever, you sell things. And of course I sell things. But I also make what I believe is the best stuff in the world, because if not, I make it better, and I make it based on real patients, real life, real imaging, and then always improving. I'm never perfect, but we get more perfect all the time. So that is the under eye. What's it do? You're like, that's okay. That's a good preamble. What am I going to see? This is amazing because people see tightening of the skin. People see plumping. So meaning their dark circles get better and their eye bags go away. Can I claim that? I can't make that medical. Okay. I can't make a medical claim. I haven't done a study on all these people. But for me to do a study, I need about $3 million, and it would take me 3 years to get a study. NUA has a study on its device, but you can't treat Black people, skin type 5 or 6. You can't treat men with NUA because their study didn't include the men and the dark people, the dark skin types. So when you do a study, it handcuffs you in many ways from a lot of things. I don't want to be handcuffed. I want you to have the best of the best. So I'm telling you what I see in real life with real patients, and you guys will comment. Go to my section. I don't remove comments unless you're using curse words. I want a family friendly, and unless you're being mean to other people. If you're being mean to me, I don't care. I leave them up. It's okay. That's my job. Look at what other people say about it. It tightens, it brightens, and it's built for the under eye. Mode 2, you can take near infrared off if you're melasma prone or you're scared to use near infrared. However, I'll tell you this, when we talk about bone, and again, I can't make some medical claim that there's this great double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized, forward-looking study that shows that near infrared builds bone, but it supercharges mitochondria, and bone is a living thing, especially in the mouth. You have alveolar bone, which has a lot of plasticity. Plasticity refers to the ability for things to change and cells to change. Your brain has a lot of plasticity. So as the kids start using cell phones, their brain's different than my brain, where I never was intuitive that way. The brain has plasticity. Your bone has plasticity and has osteoblasts that make bone and clasts that break them down. Near infrared goes deeper than your superficial red. So most people should be using mode 1, superficial, and near infrared, which is your 830, longer wavelength, goes deeper to get to the bone level, because it's my belief that we're stimulating bone. And then you use mode 2. So the way I use it, even though I'm a darker skin, I'm not pig. Only less than 5% of people will get brown spots because of using certain light. Okay, maybe even 2%. This is study. So I use mode 1 under the eyes, and then I go to mode 2 because I want to get the PEMF. PEMF is unbelievably effective, and it's why this halo mask has PEMF in it. Plus, of course, the hair and the hairline. So I don't want to go on and on about it because I'm a geek with this stuff, but please ask questions. That's great. My hesitation for the underage system, the under eye system, was due to the need for adhesive pads that required frequent replacement. We'll now order a set. Look, I am not here to take your money. I'm here to give you value. And anyone that doesn't think I give them value, you can follow me if I entertain you or whatever. It's great, and you can get free information. But don't buy anything from me. It's not changing my life in some huge way. I want you to buy because we're all on a journey together of people that think the same, that you understand what I do, you understand who I am, and that you identify with me, and that you like what we do. And when you see this product, let me show you this. This is an important story. I was on Amazon 2 years ago, and I bought a vitamin for seeing. All my friends are on this PreservaVision, which helps you see if you're shooting skeets and things, right? So I got PreservaVision. I left on a trip for a month and a half, came back. I look on my Amazon account, and I got refunded $29. I'm like, what's that? Come back and look. It was the 2 vials of PreservaVision I got refunded for by Amazon. Now, I go, oh, I could just let that go. But I'm like, $29. They don't care. I don't care. But then I thought, let me find out. So I reached out. They said, oh, by the way, we found out it was a fake product. What was in the PreservaVision wasn't in there. Sorry about that. We gave you your money back. Gave me my money back. If I had been in town and I didn't travel, I would have taken 30 days of a product into my body for my goodness and well-being that was fake, that probably had bad stuff in it. And then go look, and they just got busted, all the supplement companies on Amazon, for not having anything in, which was a good case. The best case scenario is that you don't get anything rather than getting poisoned. But I just had this sitting on my desk. We just triple tested it. So I got the triple test report. Not only are my products GMP certified, good manufacturing product certified, meaning that the factories that they're made in are regulated. The products are regulated. There's no heavy metals even coming into them. And there's many other, to get GMP certified is hard. They're GMP certified, but I'm not done there, because I've been ripped off before. I was just ripped off. Our company for 250 grand. Someone went out of business with a product. That 250 grand, I just lose that. So people rip me off. That's unfortunately, that happens. I triple test from an independent company, and I just got the report. This is collagen powder. Just came for. You guys don't know that. You care about it, but are you going to pay $5 or $10 more? Maybe. I can't lose money. So understand what goes into the products, because I take this. So if I take it, my family takes it, my friends are taking it. I triple test. So we independently triple tested this collagen powder, and I just got the report on my computer. I don't go bombastically throw all that stuff up on the internet. I guess I should, if I had a team, I would do that. But understand, I'm taking exactly what you're taking, and I'm using exactly, these are my things. That's why it's charged. Okay, next question. Put a question up here. 2026, you guys, is a whole new year. And by the end of 26, what you're going to be offered for your skin and your body, it's going to blow you away in a good way. I'm so excited about the industry and what's coming to you and what you can do. What do I think about Zerf? Heather, I need more information from you. You're the 12th person that asked me about Zerf. And Heather, I'm wondering, I know what happened. It's only one of two things happened. Either an influencer went and got Zerf, or they have a huge campaign on. And I don't have the money to do huge campaigns, but I know companies that spend millions, and I know a lot of the Nike people. Of course, I'm Northwest based sometimes, and so I know what those guys do because they're HIPAA violation. I can't tell you a lot of stuff, but I know the Nike people, what they do. But I want to know why Zerf is XERF. It's in clinic. It's a RF device. It's like anything else. I have not done the deep dive into it, and that's why I'm asking, how did you hear about it? But Zerf, XERF, I haven't done the deep dive. I did a superficial dive over the past couple of weeks because you guys asked me. But I don't tell you about anything till I have it in my hands. The next opportunity I will have to have that product in my hands is mid-February in Miami. So Zerf, I'm not going to give you. What do I think about Fotona? Okay, Fotona is a good company. And this is a great question. Fotona makes different things. They have, I think, a 1064, Erbium Mag. They have a few different lasers. Fotona is a great company. I got lasers sitting right here. Some of them are ones being tested. Some have been sent to me, but I have lasers sitting right here, and they're good. A couple aren't good. But it's about the wavelength. And when you get to a Fotona, when you get to a Cineron, when you get to a Joule, okay, Cynosure, Luminous, those are great companies. They don't produce junk. It's the operator. So forget about Fotona or not. Say I got a Fotona laser. You got a great question. That is a good company. When it comes to the Fotona, I say, who's operating it? If I gave you a Ferrari today, if I had a Ferrari today, I'm not going to drive it well for a couple of days. I love stick shift. I'm old school. I don't like this paddle shifting stuff. But it's going to take me a couple of days to drive that Ferrari well. And then is it track or road? All those things. That's who your laser operator is. It's a Ferrari driver times 10. I'm not talking. I have a immense respect for the Indy 500 and the NASCAR guys. Don't get me wrong. But for the average guy riding, it's times 10 because you can ruin a face with a Fotona. You can ruin a face with the CO2 I have sitting here. I can ruin a face in way easier than I can make it look better. It's settings. The settings under the eye are different than the settings here, different than the lower face. You know what I'm talking about. Your dermis over here is way thicker than the dermis under the eyes. And if you're a female over 55, this is thin dermis now. So when my 30-year-old comes in for a lower face treatment, she's way different than the 50, but definitely 60-year-old lower face. Two different skin types. And it's way drier here in the 60-year-old than the 30-year-old. So the Fotona is a great laser, but don't worry about that. When you Cynosure, Luminous, all those companies, and you can ask me in the questions which are good companies, those are all good companies. Worry about your driver. Forget about the laser. I get Chinese knockoff lasers to try all the time. I can make them work great. There's nothing wrong with them. And they cost a fraction of the ones in the US. Like I'm talking $10,000 versus $150,000. A lot of lasers that your med spa gets, some of them are $400,000 now. You do the math on how many people they need to treat to make up $400,000 plus their marketing, plus their staff and everything. That means they need about 500, 600 people at $100, $1,000 a pop to make their money back. So that's why you're being pushed treatments, and there'll be a new girl every time, half the time running those things. Dangerous. Great question. I don't know what it is, but it's close. But there's one here from California girl too. But let's answer one up there. Can you please let me know how often I can use the Plasma Glow mouth? I'm currently using the red piece 3 minutes every other day, but would like to use the blue with the silver on the days. Is that okay? I need my card so I know exactly the combination you're talking about. But here's the thing. The blue light is for your whitening and for your stains. You're not going to harm your teeth with that. And so that one can be used with or without the Glow, which I had here. This is your teeth whitening Glow gel, Rajani MD. I can tell you my routine, but most importantly, this is important. Lip and mouth, let me just tell you, for those who don't know, it's a red light device that you'll see them out there for the lips. You might see them for the gums. I developed one. In my world, I'm going to tell you it's the best one in the world, or it's next level, because in my mind, in my world, it is. And for my mouth, it is. And for my patient's mouth, it is. You decide for you. But what she's talking about is, and I don't have it here, unfortunately, I meant to bring it down, but it has red light for your lips, red light for your mouth and gums. I have 7 wavelengths in it, and it has blue light for teeth whitening, and it has a 1072 for cold sores, all in one device. Now a medical grade device like that, you're going to see each one for $200 for each one of those. This has all 4, and I don't know, it's about $400 or $500, something like that, in a nice case with free whitening gel. So the blue I'd use 3 times a week. And when you want your extra teeth, I put a brush on this whitening gel. So you brush it on your teeth. Why? Because first of all, you don't need your back teeth white for most people. If you want it, you can do it. But you brush it on, that way you don't get gum sensitivity. But it's only 8%. How can I get away with 8% and create the whitest teeth? I personally want a little bit of white teeth, but as a guy, I don't want the whitest teeth. I think it might look a bit odd, and I have real teeth, all of them, thank my mom. I had to I just avoided getting hit in the face as a kid with a puck, just fists, right? But so I kept the teeth so far, knock on something. I now wear a little mouth guard, so that helps. But you want to have white teeth. So you want to brush it on. You don't necessarily want this stuff on your gums, but it's only 8%. When you go up to 22% peroxide, which we never have to use, you're going to get gum sensitivity, and you don't want it all over your mouth. So there's a brush on here. So you can use your blue 3 times a week, no problem. That's going to help with stains. It's going to make this work better when you do want the whitening. And how I might use this every 2 or 3 months, to be frank, the whitening gel. I just use the blue mode a couple times a week. What I'm infatuated with, what patients are infatuated with, what people should be infatuated with, forget all the rest of it. If you don't even like aesthetics, but I'm infatuated with the red light and red light. The gum, at the same time, you can treat your lips, and I don't want anything done to my lips, so I use red light. I want them red, yep. I want to maintain the size that I was born with, yep. But the gums, and that's red light in the gums. And I use 630 and 830 for your bone and your alveolar bone and superficial. Why? Because what we found, and I'm going to throw a number out, and this is non-scientific. I should look at the literature for this, but it's my belief that 30 to 50% of people have gum disease and gingivitis after the age of 40. Now, that's a blanket statement. It's going to depend on what part of the world you're in. It's going to depend on your economic class. And it's going to depend on your personal hygiene. Do you smoke? Are you doing drugs and meth and everything else? Whatever, that's going to affect your teeth. But the red light keeps your lips, but I'm more and more impressed with gums. And lower face aging of a female is one of the hardest things I treat and keep them looking naturally. And so if I can use red light and keep their gums and keep their teeth, there's going to be someone that's going to comment here. You look and they're going to say, Rajani, I lost a tooth, or I had Invisalign, or I had braces, but particularly lost a tooth, and my mouth was never the same. And I got sagging, I got jowls, and it changed everything. Because when you lose a tooth, it opens up that whole bone, and there's a ligament in there, and you got your alveolar bone, which has a lot of plasticity, and you get gingivitis, and your jaw changes, and you lose your jawline, and you get jowls. So that's the reason for red light in the mouth. And so that's a great question. And you can use your red light every day, but really you only need it 2-3 times a week when you're on maintenance. But here's how red light works with everything. I think this is really, really important. Vivian, there is something I got to answer about red light. Plasma lip mouth is the best. The whitening gel is super gentle, doesn't hurt the gums. I trashed, you want to put this one up? I trashed several devices and gels before because I ended with hurt gums and pain. Trashed them. I like how you said that, Vivian. You're funny. I like that. So there's the comment. So you can dissect that out. The whitening gel is super gentle. Yes, I developed it, of course. And that's how I made it, because we're using the power of light, not the power of chemicals. Doesn't hurt the gums. Yeah, that was key to me, because I tried different ones, and a lot of people use 22%, and you only get so much teeth, by the way, just like skin. The cells only turn over so much. I trashed several devices. Yeah. The most expensive thing you can buy, Vivian, I tell people, is something that doesn't work. And they don't like that statement. But what I mean by that is someone will get a red light mask and say mine's $400. And they'll go, I found one on wherever, one of those sites, and it's $150. Great. When you get it home, if it harms your skin or you get brown spots, it gives off heat and you lose facial fat, you're now out 10 to 30 grand. That was the most expensive thing you ever bought, or if it breaks. So the most expensive thing you ever buy is something that doesn't work. That's how I like think about it. But I got to tell you this about red light. Almost no one understands this. And it's a little technical, but red light work. Your cells take as much energy from the light as they need, be it red, be it blue, or be it near infrared. Okay. So meaning if I wore my mask once a week and my cells were needing that, it would take it. If I wore it twice a day, the graph doesn't go straight up like that. It goes like that, and then it levels off. So there's a point at which the more I use it, the less I gain, but I still gain. Now, you don't want to keep a mask on your face all day long if you're pigment prone or anything else. But the amount of gain you get after the initial, and for some of you, really healthy, maybe you take NAD and you're on supplements, you work out, you're eating all the right foods. You, instead of a 10-minute session, you might need a 5-minute session. Let's say you're depleted, you haven't been sleeping well, cortisol, all those things. You might need to use your mask 2 sessions, 20 minutes. It's just where your body's at. Here's what we don't have in life. We don't have a way to measure yet how much you need. So we go by averages, and we know 10 minutes are what works for my patients. So it times out after 10 minutes. If you do a second session or twice a day, you're okay. Your gains might not be as big as the initial. Does that make sense? Because that's an important point that people don't understand about red light. Ask questions on that. So you have your skin routine. Mia, I like the comment, Mia Ow Ow. I like your name. Haters are jealous of you. So I want you to understand that. And there was an influencer on today. She works hard. She does a lot of work and she does a lot of reviews. And she said, I'm beat. I don't know if I can go on. It's been I'm a one-man show. And, look, this is very, very hard. What I do is very difficult. I'm sure what you guys do is very difficult too. And it's a matter of how much you do of it. I'm somewhat obsessed with getting the best. And this is my passion. And I'm older. You wouldn't find me doing this 30 years ago when my body was more fit and I was able to do sports. I'm fit, but I need 3 days of recovery after a real sport. So this is my outlet. That's where I'm at in life. But understand and I'll see reviews and different things, and I don't respond. It's to me, it's not worth it. And the people responding are often people in the industry. They have other motives, but I just take care of people. That's how I live. I take care of my people. I take care of the people that buy our products, that have our supplements, and I triple test things. I do things. I'm on using the same products that we have that you guys are using. And money only does so much for you. It's not about the money. Anyone who does something about the money, they're rarely truly successful. They may eventually get rich. Most of them don't, but it has to be about passion and compassion. So that's the way I live. That's the way it is. And I don't spend a lot of money. So but I have fun with doing this in our community. So I do feel for a lot of those people, there is a lot of hate. And those people, it is hard to deal with. And I know a lot of influencers after the holidays are burnt. So I just talked to you about what I do. Thank goodness we have fun with it. Okay, next question. Can you please tell me how to get the holder for the eye for free? So what the person's talking about. Thank you. And I want you to have this for free. People are like, oh, we're giving it for free. Don't tell anyone. No. I want you to have it. I want to send it to you. This is the Plasma Glow. Here's how it goes. This is the nose piece. This is the holder for this little guy here. Okay. And that is your under eye Plasma Glow Duo. And it fits on like that, little cute little, great little pods. That's how I invented it and come up with it. So you can recharge them. You know, I think it's kind of iPhone-like. That holder, store.rajanimd.com. By the way, there are a lot of specials. I guess one of the things people wanted some specials. And there are, I did put specials together. It's the last thing I'm telling you about, I guess. We're going on with this, but most people tell you what they're selling first. These are, now this is new to me, you guys. So I'm like, what the heck are these, you guys? They wanted to do these instead of mugs. You got to have a vote. Do you want these or mugs? But I guess women like these. These are wristbands, Rajani MD, and you get them free with what? Any order today? Any order over $100. Again, nice box you get. You can use, you know what I use these boxes for is for traveling, to put other stuff like microphones or stuff I travel. These are great boxes. Don't throw them out. But you get wristbands with any order over $100. And what they're for, I had no idea. But when you wash your face, people don't want water running down their arms. And I do. If I'm at a show, I'll wash my face, put my head down for 15 minutes before dinner because I've been working all day. Vegas, it's smoky out in all the rooms. I can barely see because it's dry. And I wash my face. I close my eyes for 15, 20 minutes. So many of you might wash your face during the day. You don't want the water coming down. That's what these wristbands are. They actually feel real good, but you get these for free, any order over $100. And they come packaged. So that anyone ordering now, you get the wristbands. Wristbands or mugs? What do you guys think? Would you rather have free wristbands or mugs? Interesting, right? But I guess everyone loves these wristbands. I don't use wristbands, by the way. I just get water all over myself, and I know probably that looks crazy, but yeah, the quality is insane. Yeah, no, I can't make things or allow things to come through that aren't high quality. See, you guys like the wristbands. Yeah, a few people like the mugs. But yeah, no, we don't make junk. I can't make junk. There's a lot of companies out there. People make junk. There's a lot of red light masks that are junk. There's RF that are junk. The problem with RF that's junk is that you lose facial fat. And imagine that your facial fat produces estrogen, team, and estrogen makes a face look young. I got a whole lecture I'm doing on that in April in Vegas on face fat and estrogen. So you have EM6259. You're the problem that I have. EM6259, both. The problem with that answer is everyone tells me both, everything and all. I said yes to a lecture for the makers of one of the toxins, and it's in Vegas. They're like, we want you to come and do a teaching. There's 200-300 people the Monday after the conference. You're there all weekend. I'm going to go and teach a couple hundred people in Vegas. And I said, well, I'll do one or the other. They said, can you do both? So I said, oh, dang. Okay, I'll do both. So by Sunday, you're ready to leave Vegas. And you guys are just probably partying in Vegas. I'm working and partying. So it's a double hit. But yes, Monday, I'm going to go do extra. That means I have to have a light first few days. So please tell what is good against mailer bags. I think this is an important one. People who have mailer bags, that's a bag underneath the eye, not the under eye bag, but it's over. There's a deep medial fat pad that we always inject. It's just lateral to it. And a lot of people think the malar bag, some people call them festoons. Some people think the festoons are a defined fat pad with fascial division. But we dissect faces. I teach anatomy cadaver courses to students. It's not a distinct fat pad. As you know, there's superficial and deep fat pads, 3 and 7 on the face. You guys probably know that because I put slides up in their videos sometimes. But a lot of people think my fat pad, it's a distinct fat pad that's gotten big. It's not. When you dissect the face, it's actually an area of fibrous tissue. And that's why it's hard to treat. It's not a fat pad. It's what we call a misnomer. Mis means not or wrong, and nomer means name, Latin, right? Misnomer. So misnomer. I studied Latin in school, and that's how I'm recalling it. It's from Latin. So it's a misnomer, and that's why it's hard to treat, because it's fibrous tissue. So here's what you do. I have a whole video. If you search Rajani after this malar fat pad, you can see me treat them and get rid of them. But you want to tighten the skin. You use some retinols. You're going to get some inflammation. If you get inflammation, you got to back off. You tighten your skin. You can gua sha. There are lymph nodes here. There are not lymph nodes, lymphatic channels. So use gua sha with red light and vibration. You want to optimize your bone. And you'll see immediate improvement with malar bags with festoons, because you're, by nature, you're reducing the lymph flow that's stuck because of the fibrous fat pad. Fat pad's a misnomer, but we'll call it a fat pad. And so gua sha helps. Red light helps. The next stage, what I would do to be more aggressive, cut it up with typically use a 23 gauge 1.5 inch needle to cut that fibrous tissue. You're basically undermining it, what we call undermining it, and then inject PRF. You could use something, and it sounds crazy, like Bellafill, which is PMMA. It's a permanent filler, but you have to use it judiciously, little bits, and you can make them better with Bellafill. Funny enough, it's permanent. You need an absolute expert, because if it doesn't look good, it's a permanent problem. But I've done that quite a bit. I do like that. So that's malar festoons. I use the sheet mask and then the red light therapy. Wait, I use the sheet mask and then the red light therapy mask, or the red light therapy mask and then use the sheet mask? Red light and then sheet mask. I think that's a great question. But after the sheet mask, I don't want you cleansing your skin. And so I want you to supercharge your mitochondria in my sheet masks. Okay, first of all, a sheet mask isn't a sheet mask. The reason I say that order is this is a therapeutic sheet mask. So there's dual PDRN. PDRN is salmon sperm DNA fragments. So this is a therapeutic mask. Remember, we want to supercharge the mitochondria, then we want to treat. How do I know you get absorption? Because that's the next thing you're going to say. Well, PDRN are tiny molecules, just a little bigger than your retinols. Retinol absorbs, doesn't it? We know that. Exosomes are tiny, right? They're 60 nanometers in size, 100 nanometers in size. PDRN is tiny. Your estrogen cream absorbs, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a great therapeutic way. How do we know estrogen cream absorbs? Well, we can measure, the one that's meant to absorb, not the vaginal cream used on the face. You get a little absorption of that. But estrogen patches, we get absorption. So we measure the blood levels. So yes, things absorb, and they absorb. So you want quality, but you want a red light supercharge, and then you want to use these are PDRN. I have exosomes, which are SICA. So they're plant-based, vegan style. This is not. Comes from an animal, salmon sperm. So take your pick. And then, of course, I have stale mucin masks. So red light's first. I like that. Speedy 1-2. I have to pee, but breathing. And I hope you're doing good, Betsy, with the weather, because I know where you're at, and I know it's cloudy, rainy, and cool, unless you took a trip. But go pee and come back. You'll be able to watch it. Okay, the best treatment for marionette lines. This is a good one. So does CO2 laser help with aging hands and fingers? Yes, it can. You have to be careful. It's thin skin. But let's go with this. Marionette lines, because 2026, I'm going to say this would be a number 3 or 4 on the list. A marionette line is the downturn of the mouth here. People call them marionette because, the ventriloquists use, what do you call that thing with the strings that come up? That's a marionette, I guess, right? So I thought there's another name for that thing, but you get what I'm talking about. They have that line here. Here's the thing about marionette lines. There's different depths. Like, I'm going to say I have them, and you might say, well, you don't, and I'm going to do that, and my muscles moving. I don't have toxin here, but so I could create them. I got decent lighting. Everyone's going to say they have them after the age of 30, and sometimes at 20, people think they have them. So why do I tell you that? Because I said all the fat pads in the face, right? First of all, we want to keep our fat pads up here. So you want to do all your prevention. But let's say you have them because of age, genetics, or you didn't take care of your skin, or you have inflammation in your skin and you get heaviness. So stage 1, tighten the skin as much as you can. Keep your fat pads going. That's all your skincare. Stage 2, your bone. And this is what people minimize. No plastic surgery addresses your bone. Just doesn't happen, right? So your jawline, why you get them at 20, people get them at 20 and think they have them, is they have poor jawline, structure, bone, and dentition. And you've developed that. If you've never had them before and you got them at 50 or 60, it's because you developed that. No fault of your own, but maybe your estrogen's down, you don't have bone. General aging. So let's talk about the bone part. What do I use? Vibration, gua sha, vitamin K2, D3. You want to maximize that. Collagen peptides. You want to be on collagen peptides. I don't want to go through all the science here today. We can do a whole video on the science behind those. You want to keep your collagen up. Then we get to your fat. So estrogen, you can take it exogenously. I have people at 40, their estrogen's down. The food we eat and what we're exposed to. I was talking to a doctor in Asia, was working with them. There was something on the body that they were scanning for. I'm like, how many? 50% of people now have things in their lungs because of the pollution. Okay, it used to be 10%, right? So think about your skin, your bone, and your fat pads. So people losing fat pads at 20 and 30 and 40, just like they're starting to use estrogen. Okay, check your estrogen. Now, when we get to treatments, so your red light mask, all your skin routines, the first step, baby step. RF is, I don't have my NUA here, but your RF is you could go to Galvanics. A Galvanic is not going to move. A Galvanic at-home device is not going to move your jowls for 90% of the people. The 10% that do, 5% of them are getting a commission from an affiliate link, and they're getting paid to tell you that. The other 5%, well, 5%, it might work. Maybe 10% it might work. Maybe the number's 20, somewhere in there. 80% of people are not going to have a marionette line, get a Galvanic, and it's going to get rid of it. But an RF device, we use those in clinic. 2 ways. NUA, if you want to do it at home, great. That's the best one because it has a shutoff for your fat. That's good because you don't want to lose fat. When you come to a clinic, now we'll put RF microneedling in and we'll kill your fat. So one of the devices you guys asked me to cover, which I did last week in my 2026 video, which you can watch after this, it's about 45 minutes, but it's important, is Agnes RF. And then ones like Morpheus, all the RF microneedling devices. Cynosure, Syneron makes them. There's all kinds of them. Silfirm's a good one, made in Korea. We can use those to get rid of the fat here. I've had that done on me. 2 places you want to get rid of your fat, your submentum here. That's RF microneedling. So there's a plethora of things that you can do. PRF with microneedling is the best for no fat loss and the cleanest as far as not toxic reaction. Yes, 100%. PRF with microneedling, that was my original Plasma Glow treatment. By the way, that's how Plasma Glow came to be. It was PRF with microneedling in my clinic. And then I took it to my complete line of products. It's the best for no fat loss. Of course, it's going to help your fat pads. It's going to be the cleanest as far as a toxic reaction. Yeah. And it's going to work in all ages. You draw your blood, you spin it down. And people are going to say, hey, your blood at 60, 70, 80 isn't as good as your blood at 20. Not true, in the sense that we're spinning down all the growth factors and exosomes, and we've proven this in spins, that's in your body. So we're concentrating on the 3 to 5x. So yes, you might have a 10% less exosomes that are good and growth factors, but we've spun them and concentrated them. So PRF works in a 70-year-old, 80-year-old, whatever number you want to use. The problem is that 70 or 80-year-old probably needs 3 times the treatments than the 30 to 40-year-old. So the 80-year-olds say, it didn't work. I did the 2 treatments. Well, guess what? At 80, I'm just picking numbers so you guys understand age. Has nothing to do with age, by the way, too, because it has to do with skin age. I have 40-year-olds that look 80. I have 80-year-olds that look 50. Okay, 60. So understand that's a key point. Will Invisalign affect lower face aging? I'm halfway through. Should I stop? No, not at all. It depends on the structure. It's going to change your teeth. Invisalign, and it's huge in Asia. Almost so many people over there I see use it there too. So it's ubiquitous around the world. So there's a lot of data. But as long as you're moving your jaw towards the correct, meaning alignment, you're good. If you find you're starting to get malaligned, then you're in problem. That's what I'll say on that. This is like we're an hour and a half into this, and the coffee's getting a little cold. I'm going to invest. If we sell enough skincare, I'm going to get a coffee maker down here so I can make my coffee and we can do 5-hour live streams. At the shows, people say, Rajani's always walking around with a coffee. It's what keeps me going at the lectures. Please share the lecture to us first. I am OY7CP. I think I'll do that. I need a bit of a closed group, so I might have to do it with an email list. Not everyone wants to see it anyway, but I can set this up so that we do private sessions. I can talk to you a lot differently in a private session like I can potentially here. Obviously, I can give you more pointed advice. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. One of the things I've conceptualized to do with our skincare, because I don't need to treat the world. I don't need to have my products available to the world like I do now. We have a lot more leeway if we have a smaller, tighter group, and we could have just a few thousand people. But that would then exclude the other 150,000 people we have. I don't like excluding people, but my life would be way easier with 5,000 of you than 150,000. I don't know if that makes it more fun or what, but having closed sessions, closed group could be a fun thing. We could even take faces and consult them and do different things. So I don't know how to do that and do it fairly and not exclude good people. But it's something I think about all the time, because understand this is a beast, what I'm doing, in terms of you need website, you need marketing, you have people who aren't paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're trying to develop, you're lecturing, you're teaching, you're training, you have clients. It's a 24-hour day job. And so something to conceptualize how one would do that. It could be fun, but maybe that's for another day. But I would always involve you guys and see a smaller group. But there are cool stuff. We're able to do stuff like bring exosomes here to America with a group, and we were buying in lots of thousands and thousands. And now, but when I bring it to you, understand that that's what's happening. And so take advantage of these. And I think we need to get more because we're running out. You guys have loved it. And I've heard in the comments too today, and that helps me know, because when you tell me you're loving it, like I love it, just because I love it, my team loves it, my testers love it, doesn't mean you guys do, but it's been overwhelming. The response to Exobomb Plant Cell Exosomes Cream. And I don't just bring everything. This took a year in the making of testing, going to the factory, talking to the people, looking at studies on burns. That's where a lot of the data came from for Exobomb, was burns. And we're the first to use it. I was like, we're going to use this in daily use. And this was when I was in Korea about 8 months ago. We started using it over there for clients for daily use. And I'm like, this has to come to America. So that's how this got here. It's a cocktail story. It's an hour story. You guys would have fun if we were sitting down over a drink or something. What do you say about filler in marionette lines? I think that's a great question. I didn't bring that up. 2 things. I didn't do a complete job of that. Thank you for telling me about the marionette. 1, biostimulators, Sculptra. And this is some of the stuff I can't talk about here but I could in a smaller group, because I was the first one to lecture on this after the FDA approval, but of course I know things way before then. Here's where we put Sculptra to get the jawline. We put it here. Can you see me? Yeah. So above the jawline. And what happened was the imaging was showing, because to get something for the approval for the jawline is tough, because you got the facial artery comes up in front of the masseter muscle. And if you occlude or have a problem with the facial artery, you're screwed. And so I inject it all the time, but I know that it's on the bone, see, but you can't put that out to the world to do, because they'll occlude it and they'll harm people. So by injecting the Sculptra up here in the safe zone, what did they see? Tightening of the jawline and reduced jowls without even addressing the jowl. It's because Sculptra, PLLA, I've used it for over 20 years. It tightens skin, so you get lifting of the jowl and the jawline. So Sculptra here absolutely works. Are you going to see it after 1 you for most people. And the reason is You get skin glow with session 1, you get tightening on session 2, and you get volume on session 3. So it takes money. Each vial is about $1,000. But it works. It's crazy. It works. I've had it. Of course, I've had it. And so filler, that's the first thing to do. And then you add filler here in little bits. And it does look good because the filler, a robust filler, will lift up the edge of the mouth because you put it in a special way. And I never come up with a way to call this. I do teach this. But here's how you have to put your filler in. It's droplet form. So picture, first of all, I get the most robust filler I can. I have to think here because there's some FDA approvals that haven't come by yet. So let me not get myself into trouble. There is an approval I think that I'll be able to share with you in Vegas in April at a lecture I'm doing. But I'm just going to use the word a robust filler. So you want a cohesive, robust, strong G prime filler, not calcium hydroxyapatite. So don't do this with Radius. Hyaluronic acid filler, put big droplets. So you start, I want to see that you can see me, start with a bigger droplet here, and you reduce the size of the droplets up to here. Now, why do you put it in a droplet? Because the worst thing you can do, and I had this happen in 2003, Restylane first came out, had some of the first vials, and I had a staff member, she was young, she was hair removal, she was like 25, and we did some Restylane in here. And we used to back then have people massage the filler when they went home, but not in the lower face. We had them massage the cheeks. And filler was never approved, by the way, in the cheeks back then. First cheek approval for filler was Voluma, and that was 2007. And then came Restylane Lift around 11. And I was involved in that approval of Voluma, by the way. I was involved. So down here, what she did was 2003, 25-year-old, and she massaged here. And she had a beautiful result when she left. I saw her. I come back to work. A few days later, it was all gone. She'd massaged it down. So, and she massaged it over here to make it worse. So we simply dissolved it with a recombinant DNA, and it was all fine. But if you put the droplet technique, it holds cohesively. And after 2 weeks, it stays. It kind of, I don't use the word encapsulates because that's kind of wrong. That's a misnomer, but it becomes structured and stays. And that maintains your lift. So I like fillers after you maximize the preauricular zone, the hockey stick that I call it. Everything's hockey to me. Montreal and Detroit, big game tonight. You guys got to watch. Okay, so the hockey stick here, injection of Sculptra, that maximizes the lift. That means you need to do less filler here. So that probably hopefully makes sense for you. Filler, yes, I like it. If you go in and you only get filler and you have a marionette and you don't have a fat face over here, but you have a hollow. Okay, so if you have a hollow, that gives you opportunity to lift. If you came in and you have a fat face, I still am going to do 1 or 2 sessions here because remember what I said. First dose of Sculptra is going to be your glow. The second dose is going to be your tightening. And the third dose is going to be your volume at a 9 to 18 to 1 concentration. Meaning, I'm not going to give you volume with the first 1 or 2 treatments, but I'm going to give you skin tightening. Do you see where the person you see is way more important than the product? Both are important, but it's who you see. So if they don't know what I just told you, you're not going to look good. You're going to look untoward. And the reason is your lower mouth is one of the first areas that you're going to look bizarre with. It's because it's dynamic. Your mouth moves. And when you meet somebody, when you meet me right now, I'm looking into the camera, you're going to meet me. You just looked at my eyes and you looked at my mouth. Those are your focal points when you meet someone and you determine their health. If my eyes look bad, you'd immediately say, he looks tired. He looks beat up. He looks He didn't sleep. He looks not good. All the words going through that weren't good. I'm not saying them. And so you look at the eyes and the mouth. And if your lower face doesn't look good because of the treatment you got, that's bad. But it's the number one area most people don't know how to treat because it's complex. So hopefully that made sense. Yeah, a lot of you guys want that private group. It's an interesting concept that my team and I think about. because at a certain point I need a little simpler life, right? How long can I maintain? I'm gonna age. I'm gonna age. I'm gonna look 10 years older, and you'll be like, Rajani, you gotta quit. You guys are gonna give me the hook, and I don't want to have to quit because I'm having fun. Wow, 6 months later, it is the bomb. 6 months later, oh, maybe you're talking about Exobomb Vist, Dan. So here's a question. Yes, good idea for the exclusive Rajani Club. I propose. Okay, great. Glow smarter, not harder. God, like, do you see how much smarter you guys are than me? That's from, I'm having trouble reading it. Primus Sultimu 2928. I butchered that. Do you see why when all these products I have, we developed? You guys are an integral part of it. Plasma Glow Lip and Mouth is worth every penny. At my most recent dental visit, my G pocket depths, yeah, okay, I know this stuff, were all 2s and 3s normal range. I'm telling you, part of it, I have to change my mindset, but the reason I don't come out and make everyone have this product and bombastically blast it all over the world is just because it's too much for my mind and the hate that, as you say, people would give me. I'm just happy not having as much of that. But I'll tell you, that's what I believe to be true. I see it on myself. I see it on my clients. I've developed this over 2 years, and some of my best friends are dentists, as you can imagine. And so when the minute you understand that so many of us have gingivitis, the minute you understand, like I do over the years, what a jawline means to your face, and your structure, and you realize that red light supercharges your mitochondria, the effect on gingivitis, on the alveolar bone, and the devastation of your mouth and the bacteria in your mouth. In fact, there's all kinds of papers on the bacteria in your mouth causing heart disease, and the bacteria is in origin potentially for the cause of many diseases, including heart disease, cardiovascular disease, and coronary artery disease from bacteria. And there's some grasp here. There's some truth to it. The mouth is so important. And when we get a human bite in the hospital, we're scared to death because the human bite is next to the Gila monster and the crocodile for infection risk. Now that's extreme because the Gila monster is a form of a toxin or poison, but you get my point. So pay attention to your mouth. When that person asked me about the jowls, lip and mouth device, and people are going to say, my gosh, it irradiates the lips and the gums. What are you talking about? But I can guarantee you people at 6 months, because people now have had this device for 1.5 to 2 years, at 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4 years, you guys are going to come back and say, my jowls are improved. My lower face, my jawline is all improved. I know this to be true. I can't come out and say it, but when you pay attention to, this is what I do for a living. So yes, the lip and mouth device. So Botox, thank you again. Heather, keep me on point. Yes, Botox for the DAO. So this is the muscle. It's a triangular shaped muscle from the base. It comes from the masseter anterior and up here. And that muscle can be treated with 3 units and 3 units, 6 units, $60 of Botox, Dysport, Lativo, Xeomin, Jeuveau, whatever your choice is. Cheap. You can't do too much here because you're going to look funny. You can't just over Botox it. And if you get a spread of effect and you get your labii, your depressor labii, you'll have a crooked smile. But you're going to have to go in every 2 or 3 months. And I've had it done a couple of times. Obviously, I'm moving fully now. I probably did it last 2 years ago. But if you do it a little bit over time, it will weaken the muscle. And that will help lift. Because if you can't pull down the muscles here, naso aliqui minimi and your zygomaticus major minor, they will lift your face. And it's why I tell you, if you're using these EMS masks, okay, be mindful with what's on the market now. Because if it makes the wrong muscle strong, you're going to get a jowl. And that's what we're in development for. So do you believe these devices can actually restore periodontal bone loss? It's a good question. Do they restore bone loss? Because understand, you got a periodontal, you got a ligament in there, you got your alveolar bone, and then you got your jawbone. It's very complex. I really have to do a deep dive into that. As you can see with what I do in life, it's hard for me to do a lot of deep dives and be a dental expert and everything. But they, for certainly what I see happen with my own eyes without a study, very careful. If I'm in a closed group, I'm talking to you differently. But someone's going to take a clip of this and throw it up on and say, look what Rajani said. I guess you could also just slice what my preamble to it and make me look stupid too, but you got to be careful. But what I see for sure, I see people come back, their lower face looks less aged. The dentists tell me that and all you guys tell me, which is the most important thing in the world, and I haven't had my teeth, I've been obviously using this for a lot longer than it came out because I've been developing it. I haven't had a teeth cleaning in 2.5 years. And the reason is they do check your gums. I'm okay with that. But I don't want that strong, I don't want them going in with that metal thing and removing the plaque and putting that metal on my teeth. It doesn't need it. I don't have that. And I use a water pick and I brush and I use a Sonicare once in a while. And when I go in, they're like, you don't need to be here. So I rather not go in for cleaning, so I don't. Does lip and mouth device tend to release toxins from the gum, then heal? No one knows about this releasing toxin stuff because as of today, 2026, we really can't measure releasing toxins. People like to talk about all that all the time. And we have many markers in the blood we can check. Certainly bacteria from the mouth do end up in your bloodstream, but that's not what happens with this. But remember, recharging your mitochondria also recharges your macrophage. So you have macrophages that chew up and that help you fight infection. And you have exosomes that do. They're all recharged by red light. So will K2 and D3 help restore bone loss in your face? I have a whole video you want to watch on this. It's called vitamin, and you can type this in, Rajani. You can spell my name by now. Rajani, vitamin deficiency wrinkling your skin. And that video talks about the data and it's inferential data. There's no double-blind, placebo-controlled, forward-looking study that shows K2D3 gives you more calcium in your head. But we know K2D3, there's a recent study 6 months ago, still points to the fact that it takes the calcium and does not deposit it in the vasculature, but deposits it where it wants to be, which is in the bone. That's vitamin K2 and D3. K2 in the form of MK7 because it has a longer half-life. And that's what I use in my K2D3 supplement. I don't have it here, but you guys know about it. Again, GMP certified, tested for heavy metals. Be careful what you take. K2D3, of course I'm on K2D3 because I told you I had my vitamin D level measured after I was kite surfing in Maui for a few weeks in the sun every day after work. And my vitamin D was not low, but it was very low. And I don't wear a lot of sunscreen other than on my face. I let my body get sun. That's just what I do. I'm a skin type 4. I can get away with that. If you're skin type 1, 2, or 3, you're white and you're female with estrogen loss, you're not going to get away. You're going to get wrinkled. But darker skin, we get away with, and I want my vitamin D, but I still had very low. So there's a good chance half of us are walking around low on D. So yes, K2D3 does what it's part of that. You add vibration, you add red light. Now you're in the game. Okay, so and vibration plates. A lot of you are on the vibration plates. I like those at home, vibration plates. There's some data on them for bone loss. I'm in Los Angeles. Are there any injectors who you have trained here? Or do you think I should book an appointment with your office? Julie in CA. Put that comment up. If we have a closed group here, Julie, I'll give you 5 names, 6 names. If you want to see me get hate mail, be hung upside down, someone take a clip of me and say, look what an idiot Rajani is. Because when I give you the name of 5 people, there's 35,000 people then who hate me. And this is the world I live in. You got to understand that. I cannot give you a name of people. I can give you 10 great people, 2 that I'd love for you to see. But I guess they say when you become big, I don't think I'm big or whatever, but I guess I'm big there's 1 million followers here and I travel the world and I trained thousands. I don't know. I guess I trained probably 30,000 injectors in my career, 30,000. If you consider my online courses and everything I do with the companies, there's going to be 40,000 people upset and 4,006 people, the 6 I recommended, who love me. I can't have 40,000 people upset. What I will tell you is this. If you're getting Botox or whatever under $10 a unit, it's likely fake. If you go to, you probably get me, right? So if you're sitting here, you're going, I like Rajani. He's just a regular guy doing what he does. I get a good feel for him. Yeah, a Viola sculptor with me is going to be $1,000. Okay. Yeah, I got a CO2 laser sitting here. You want me to treat you aggressively? Your family's going to think you're crazy for 3 weeks. You're going to have a burn. I'm going to give you Exobomb. And then you're going to love me at 8 weeks, but you're going to hate me for the first 3 weeks. And you might get some acne in your post-care treatment because you're going to use Vaseline. That's an honest guy. And whether you come and spend $5,000 with me or not, don't decide in the chair today. I'm here. I'll treat you. I'll be away for the next 2 weeks, but I can treat you in 2 months. That's an honest guy. If you don't get that feel when you walk into a clinic, don't treat. Because to fix damage to your face costs a lot of money. It's devastating mentally. And then get a referral from a friend. So the best way is, and this is a key point I'm going to tell you here, get a referral from a good friend who you think looks good, who you trust. And here's the key. Do not necessarily get the same treatment your friend had. So I'm going to see a buddy of mine tonight. So guys, different, but let's say I see a buddy of mine, I have a beer before the hockey game tonight. I would love to do that, if time willing. My buddy goes, oh yeah, I had my eye treated with filler under the eye. And I look at my buddy and I go, dude, that looks great. I'm going to go get filler under my eye. I go to his doctor and the doctor should say, well, Rajani, that guy was white and you're brown. That guy was 30 years old and you're 50. And so they're going to treat me like a different person. So the fact that your neighbor had a treatment that worked means nothing for you. If they had Ulthera and they feel like it was a facelift for $4,000 that it costs, that doesn't mean you're going to get it and think it was a facelift, because 20% of the people who get Ulthera will be happy to think they almost got a facelift. The other 80% aren't. So get a referral from a friend, but it doesn't mean that you get the same treatment as your friend, because every face is different. If the provider doesn't look at your face and give you a totally, probably different, unless even twins, I have identical twins. Do you know that identical twins look totally different because they're on different sun exposure? One was sitting inside working their whole life. One was sitting in the sun their whole life. One drinks booze, one doesn't. All those things will affect. So twins don't even help you. What your twin does doesn't mean that's what you do. I recently saw an influencer who got a facelift and she slammed you for and a few others. I wanted to lash out at her, but I didn't, because anyone that has half a brain knows she's not being true. I love these I really love these comments. So I want to copy and then I'll address it. So let me repeat this one. I recently saw an influencer who, oh God, I fell off that ladder, my neck. I got to get my red light. I recently saw an influencer who got a facelift and she slammed you and a few others. I wanted to lash out at her, but I didn't, because anyone that has half a brain knows she's not being true. Okay, look, I don't need the world to love me. And I know the fact that I do what I do. I have my crew of people. They love me. And if I do something wrong, just like you guys have your crew, they say, Rajani, that's not the way to think. Let me give you another perspective. And I learn from them. And I have you guys here. 99.9% of you get me. You understand. I can tell you this. The majority of people who will say something bad, they own their own company. They have their own reasons. They're with another company. They're paid and all those things. You have to have not many people can do this. It's not built. I've been on this for 15 years. I work for companies. The other company won't like me. I play well in the sandbox. That's just what I do. You won't hear me talk bad about anybody, because that's not what I do. Anyone who talks bad about other people, obviously that gains traction. The internet, the social media is all about conspiracies and controversy. That's not what we do here. It's not what I do, and that's how I live my life. But I know that doesn't gain traction. It's going to limit the growth of me, but that's okay. So understand that. And so, yes, people are going to slam you. Once you've had a facelift, and then of course, remember, most plastic surgeons, because I work obviously with tons of people, tons of plastic surgeons, oculoplastics. I work with every kind of doctor you can imagine, nurses, nurse practitioners. I work with everybody. And most plastic surgeons never get a facelift. The majority, 90% of plastic surgeons I work with have Sculptra in their face. Only 10 or 20% might have threads, but they'll never get a facelift, and 90% of them have Sculptra in their face. And but they might come out online and say, hey, never do Sculptra. Everyone has their own motive. Again, if I'm in a closed group with you guys, we talk differently than I have to talk here. As you now know, we get 6 million views a month, and 1% is 6 million. Let me tell you something about medicine that you need to know about your journey. I'll answer this question first, and then we'll go to that. But okay, yeah, let me answer this. To someone selling you something, I'm selling you this LED mask, right? I'm a company. 1%, 5% of people, let's just say this is not mine, but a product, a generic product. 5% of people get sunspots from it, and I'm dark spots, and I'm a company. I go 5% of people. Darn, I don't care about 5%. I make money off 95%. That's what a company's going to tell you. They don't care. 5% for me, that's 1 in 20. If I see 20 clients a day, that means 1 in 20 had a problem. I'm in a business. For the world that I live in and my colleagues live in, and many of the people online many of the dermatologists and people, the influencers that you see, never see a patient. They're not on, they don't have anyone to answer to. 1 in 20 clients for me, imagine that's every day. One person, hey, I got a side effect. I care. So I care about the 5% of you and the 95%. I'm not a corporation or a company. Understand that concept when you buy things, when you think about things. That's just big business and big pharma. Sculptra for life, Val Breaks. Yeah, I've been injecting. So to understand this, I started using Sculptra in 2004. It was before that. It was only approved in this country in 2004, 2005, but it came from Europe because of HIV lipoatrophy, and it was on a compassionate basis. People could bring the product from Europe because it added volume. And if you had a hollow face and you had HIV, you were stigmatized to have HIV, even if you just had a hollow face, because of the drugs called AZT. Those drugs like AZT, they made the face hollow. So people would scatter from you because no one knew how you necessarily got HIV. It wasn't like today where you could live a normal life potentially. So that's how Sculptra came to be. So I injected Sculptra before it was even approved in this country, when it came in on a compassionate grounds. Do you cover how often you use the face mask you sell? I got it for Christmas and love it. Ruby, good to hear from you. You shifted gears from my discussions, but I'm trying to give everyone a feel for what we do. So do you cover how often you use the face mask? So yes, we covered it in here. For the LED mask, I use it 3 times a week, 10 minutes at a time. You can use it every day. If you use it more than that, you're just not going to get as much of a gain. So the cells take what they need. 10 minutes is about correct. We can do some rapid fire. Val Breaks, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Judy Burke, should you still use Volufiline along with Exobomb for sure? Volufiline, about 2% of people will get pilling. So that's when you put it on, you get little balls. If you get pilling with it, just clean your face, make sure it's dry, and then use the Volufiline. Most people won't get pilling. If you don't get pilling, I don't get pilling, 95% of you don't get pilling, then how you want to use these 2 products together. This is your primer. This is going to be your exosome stem cell product, Exobomb. Cleanse your skin. You put this on because that has your exosomes in it. We want maximal absorption for that. And then you're going to leave it on. It's nice when you layer, if you're layering 2 expensive products and 2 very therapeutic, I want to use the word active products, that you wait 15, 20 minutes when you can. So what a lot of people, what I would do if I'm layering these, I cleanse, I put this on. I'll brush my teeth, do whatever else you might have to do. And then I'll put this on. And that gives you, I don't brush my teeth for 15 minutes, but you get the idea. It gives you a little time gap in between. For me, I like to gua sha, right around the time I brush my teeth because I gua sha in the morning. Should you use sunscreen after sheet masks? If you're going out and getting a lot of sun, yes. Sun is not the devil. Sun is great. You need vitamin D. So you don't have to use sunscreen. I'm doing this whole thing with my wristband. I don't know why. So you use sunscreen. So yes, if you're getting a lot of sun, here's the thing. If you want the vitamin D and you want to protect your face, and maybe you've got lasers, you don't want brown spots, all that stuff, use sunscreen on your face, but don't use as much on your body. I know body skin's important and people want your body. This depends on you. It's a personal thing, but you want some vitamin D. Get the morning night sun and get the evening sun. You don't want the midday. Does Sculptra work for forehead lines? Never. MAJE1YB. There's 3 and more, but there's 3 no-go zones for Sculptra. And if anyone tells you to put them in there, tell them Rajani said no. Okay, I've been doing Sculptra for over 20 years, trained thousands of people. Don't put it in the lips, and don't put it in the under eye, and don't put it in the neck here because of nodules. Okay, so Sculptra, don't put in those 3 areas. Not radius, nodule. Yeah. Okay, I'll try again. Okay, here we go. I was overfilled and had 3 dissolve. This is a great question. This is important. Art of reversal. I was overfilled and had 3 dissolves and an ultrasound. Now need an MRI. What would an MRI versus ultrasound show? Okay, here's the thing. So this is someone who had too much filler, had 3 dissolves. Okay, I'd love to know. There's a couple key questions. What country are you in? Helps me know what kind of dissolver you use. So dissolver only dissolves hyaluronic acid filler. You cannot dissolve radius, despite what some people say. You cannot dissolve Bellafill. You cannot dissolve Sculptra. So hyaluronic acid filler. So the first question becomes, was it real hyaluronic acid filler? And you sometimes can't tell because they backfill the real syringes with silicone. You can't dissolve silicone. So what was it real filler? Real hyaluronic acid bona fide filler always dissolves with dissolver. Let me repeat it. Real hyaluronic acid filler always dissolves. So it's a matter of the dose of your dissolver and the type. Dissolver comes from the testicles of animals or recombinant DNA. I use recombinant DNA. Now, way back in 2003, we used the other types. Certain countries still have the horse, the cow, or the pig kind. Not necessarily wrong with them, but some of them will dissolve your face and they won't dissolve the filler as well. So your questions become, and if I knew what country you're in, where you went could help me, but I don't want that in public. And again, a lot of influencers are going to tell you all this. They've never used dissolver, derms, whatever you see. They don't see patients. But I can tell you, I've never had hyaluronic acid not dissolve. And I've done this since 2003 with hyaluronic acids. So the ultrasound, the MRI are going to help you because the ultrasound, the morphology of the filler, we can tell by the look on ultrasound. So I can tell you if it's PMMA, if it's Sculptra, or if it's hyaluronic acid filler by looking at the ultrasound. An MRI is going to tell me, did it spread around? Is there encapsulation? What you don't want to do, if this is something else, is get a biofilm that's introducing, it's not a bacterial infection, which is a risk. I know I'm getting complex here, you guys, this is my world. But put it this way, you don't want a biofilm. So to answer your question, what's the MRI going to show versus an ultrasound? It's more detailed. It can show more detail around the filler. And it can show, it's better to look at subtle filler that the ultrasound may not see. And it can also tell you about the different type of fillers versus the ultrasound look. But I'd have to know your exact issue. If it's simply getting rid of the product and you truly know it's hyaluronic acid, that's an easy problem to fix. That's some insights there. Watch what I said again. Go back and watch this again so you understand everything I just said, because I know there was a lot there. When I use the red light therapy, should I cover my eyes? What a great question. And I just talked to one of the top eye guys. I don't want to even say exactly what kind, but the exact right kind, the retina guys in the world, in the country, the other day about this. I have a whole video I made on it. For me, in my world, red light in the doses of 10 minutes with the red light mask, you can use, I have gaskets around them. You can use with the mask. For me, I don't wear the gaskets because of the data that I see and I know about the red light in the eyes. For me, I don't like a lot of bright in the eyes, so I'll just simply close my eyes, know that the red light won't get through, but the near infrared will get through because the longer wavelength penetrates more. So I personally do not wear the gaskets that protect your eyes, and I do have my eyes open. I walk around and do stuff. And go and look, if you want to know the answers, go look at Harvard's red light for macular degeneration. They just got their first one. Now, the dose of that red light and the exact wavelength isn't the exact same dose and wavelength that's in here, but it gives you insights. Best way to soften forehead lines without Botox. Okay, you have a lot of options. Without Botox, you probably don't want threads. Threads work well. The forehead's made up of the bone, a little tiny bit of fat, and your skin. So you want to make your bone better. So you want your red light and you want your gua sha. It's gone now. Things go, but you want your gua sha. You want your gua sha that's built for your bone in your forehead, right? So you want those things. So that's something you can do to smooth. Now I have exercises. Let me show you that in a second. But I have videos on exercise, volufiline, or you want. Let me bring that down a little bit. So you want that little tiny bit of fat that you have, bone, fat, muscle. Sorry, bone, muscle, then fat, then skin. That little, but there's there's not much fat here. That fat that you have, you want to optimize it. So whatever way you want to do, of course, red light and massage is going to increase blood flow. Volufiline is going to give you a bit of volume. Threads are good. They're not Botox. Don't use filler up here. Don't use sculptor up here. RF, I'm a fan of RF if you have something like the NUA because you want to shut off for your fat. So you don't want it to get too hot. You can use your galvanics up there. It might do something, won't do much. But those are your better options. And then think about a skincare with a peptide that has Botox-like action. So Revox Line Relaxer from Revision. I have that on my store. I work with Revision Skincare. So they have peptides, and my high hyaluronic acid has something called argireline in it. Argireline is a peptide that slows muscle movement down. Next, how do you find the best products, oils to use for your face with gua sha? It's very easy. I have let me show you a combination oil. Be very mindful there. So this is a combination oil, Hydroglow. So this is a combination. Again, you guys made this product and I packaged it and made it. If you've known me for a long time, you know that I listen to you guys and that I put polls up and then we talk about face oils from sunflower to sapphire, argan. And I took the best face oils that we all like on this channel and I put it in a combination here. It's all Hydroglow. So if you go onto my store site and you just look up Hydroglow and you look at the ingredients, it will tell you the best oils for gua sha because that's the combination that's in Hydroglow. Next question. Dr. R, I use a 0.3 roller on my brow and I get a little lift with that. Red light mask and lactic acid, lactic acid. That's a great combination. 0.3 roller is all you need. 0.25, 0.3, great. Mine's a 0.25. Here's the thing with the roller, little tip here. You have a choice of stainless steel or different metals, right? Stainless steel is not porous. So I prefer that you have a stainless steel one. Here's the problem with stainless steel. It's not going to stay sharp as long as some of the other metals may. Meaning, but it's cleaner. It's non-porous. Why do you think in the operating room it's stainless steel? Okay, so think about changing out your roller. You're going to need every 12. Is there time frame or no? Okay, so we're good on time. Everyone good on time? You guys good on time? Okay, so yeah, great. So look for stainless steel in your roller. Okay, what's the difference between your two red light masks? Great question. I think this is important because a lot of you, this is a staple of your home spa. So red light mask, okay, let's go through the original mask, which still is what we sell the most of. I would say 80% of you are going to want this one, and I'll go through the differences. 630, 830, and then blue for your family who has acne. Most of you aren't going to use the acne one. If you're getting hormone dysregulation as you're going to 40 plus, you're going to get new acne. You're going to use it. So I put the lights. Remember, it's the dispersion of light, not the number, the quality of the LEDs and the power that's key. But I put the lights specifically more under the eyes and around the lips and the lower face, and then also in the jowl area. It has a strap, so you strap up. You don't have to buy a separate strap from Korea or one of your biggest, the people who come out with the straps that really do work. They do some good, the strapping underneath for lymphatics to tighten the jawline. You've got your strap built into your LED. And then you got your 2 wavelengths of red light, and you have nice dispersion, and the bulbs are in the right areas. So that would be some of that. Now they're portable and you can take them on planes. I made the battery so you're going to recharge it every use, or 4 uses, 5 uses, depending on how much you use it. I charge mine every week or 2, the way I use it. So you can take them on planes because they're all designed so that you can remove the battery and keep it in your carry-on. They're portable and they're flexible. So you can put it on your stomach. I put mine on my knee yesterday. You can use it on your back. Okay. And you can put that one on your hair. This one, you guys said, this one has magnetic clips, so you don't need the strap, right? Okay. And so I made it a little more streamlined that way. We have the same lights in the right areas that we want. Again, don't look at number of lights, look at wavelength quality, and they should never give off heat. Then a lot of you, especially those getting surgery, those post-virus, or those when estrogen's gone down, a lot of you have said, hey, I am losing my hairline. I want more hair. And so not just men, but women. Funny story, when I started doing hair in my clinic, more women came in than men. I didn't know that. That was 15 years ago. So there's a hair piece up here, and there's no strap up here. It's very easy. There's a magnetic piece. So on mine, I never reset it again. I keep mine like that. It hangs up like that. So I put it on. It takes 2 seconds and then clips up, and then I turn it on. It has PEMF in there. I don't know that there's any other mask on the market. Maybe there is. I don't know it. That has pulsed electromagnetic field. I won't go into that here. I go into it in other videos, but PEMF is amazing because I also use that in my under eye patches, and it's been phenomenal. And then you can turn near infrared off. You guys asked for this. There's 5% of people that feel like you get darker spots when you use a mask that has near infrared. So I made it so that the near infrared you can turn off, so you can only have red light. Again, we developed this mask. So those are some of the differences. If you want PEMF, get the halo mask. If you want the hair, get the halo mask. If you want the clips instead of the straps, get the halo mask. It's more expensive. But remember, for your neck, you simply place it on your neck and your décolleté. I specifically don't make it come down to the neck because if you're going to treat the neck, I want you to treat the décolleté, and you can take it and move it. Will the blue light help acne that might happen from post-CO2 Vaseline? Can you use the Exobalm in addition to the Vaseline immediately after aggressive CO2? I never mess with anyone else's post-CO2 protocol. I have my post-CO2 protocol, which right now, and I always use Vaseline after CO2 laser, always. And granted, we did full ablative laser 15 years ago. Those people almost 50% got acne because of how aggressive that laser. Now we're using fractionated CO2. I'm using Exobalm, which for half the people is hydrating enough, but I still would use personally Vaseline. No, Vaseline's not motor oil. It's highly refined. People, Vaseline's motor oil. It's highly refined. So I would prime with Exobalm for my patients. You got to ask your doctor. This is not medical advice. I prime for a week before CO2. Do the CO2. Wait an hour or 2 after the CO2. A lot of people would do it right away. I often drop PRF, put PRF on. Then I start the Exobalm plus Vaseline as needed for hydration. What you don't want to do is get bacteria on your face. The Vaseline is an occlusive, helps bacteria. And that often happens when you're too dry. So that's why we use Vaseline post-healing. And despite what a lot of people say, the most common post-facelift treatment for the wounds, for scarring, is Vaseline and Aquaphor type of stuff. So Vaseline is still commonly used in aesthetics and surgery. Is Radius the best choice for lifting cheeks by restoring lost volume and stimulating natural collagen production? Radius is a great choice. Again, I use all the fillers. There's not one company, no one's paying me. But where Radius is nice is if you have an expert and you don't need it dissolved, it's pretty long lasting. 70% of the vial of Radius is carboxymethylcellulose. 30% of that vial is calcium. And so the calcium is what's stimulating. Carboxymethylcellulose is an ingredient in your toothpaste. It's an ingredient in shampoos. It's a filler, meaning a filler for ingredient manufacturing. And so that will go in 2 to 3 months. So the downside of Radius, a lot of people see in 2 to 3 months, a lot of the volume goes away. That's just your carboxymethylcellulose resorbing. The calcium is 30% of the syringe, which is why the syringe, I was involved in the launch of that, is 1.5 mLs. Because in the studies before, when we saw 1 ml, people were so disappointed, we made a bigger syringe from it. We, meaning the company, on the guidance of their key opinion leaders like me. So I do like it. Oh, I'm looking for the question. Do you do CO2 around the eyes? Some do, some don't. The eyes heal amazingly well. Here's why a lot of people don't do eyes. So when I started doing eyes, the answer is yes, I like around the eyes, but here's the downside. You put metal shields in a lot of times if you're doing the upper lid. So you have to put a numbing drop in. Within all that, you have to sterilize the metal shields or you get disposables. I like it. Yes, it's good. Not a lot of people can handle the downtime, especially 2026. Back then, 15 years ago, people were way more stoic in the sense that they didn't go online and get freaked out and call you 50 times scared to death. They did what the doctor said. Yes, it'll get better. Follow the routine and they get better. And it looks great at 6 weeks. At this time, people freak out and the doctors go, I'm not messing with this because there's 50 phone calls from people freaking out from online reading. That's why people don't do it. But the eye heals amazingly well. It's why people get away with doing the arcing treatment of that burning the under eye with the little dots with those pens, arcing pens that people use, because the eye does heal well, even though that little pen scars people. What's the best treatment for facial damage from Ozempic and Wegovy? So amazing question. Ozempic and Wegovy, the GLP-1 agonists, they are the weight loss drugs. You see them advertised everywhere. Companies are studying this like crazy, and Sculptra is one that already has studies out showing what it can do post Wegovy. Rather than banging 15 hyaluronic acid vials into a face to fill up after Wegovy fat loss from the face, you're better off going with the biostimulator. Like, in my opinion, I'd be getting something like Sculptra and then adding a little bit of filler to it. And so that's how I would conceptualize that. And I would say if you're going to get fillers, just don't get like a lot of them. If you need pointed treatments, go for filler. Radius is a good one there. We used it for HIV lipoatrophy 20 years ago. That does work. So that would be one that you consider. But yes, I'd go Sculptra and Radius for that combination with a little bit of hyaluronic acid filler, because you don't put Sculptra Radius under the eyes. So you can microneedle under the eye. So yes, Penny Campbell 9909. So you can microneedle under the eye. You can, and I use mostly without energy. So microneedling with PRF, microneedling with derma roller, microneedling with stamping, micro pen, the kind of pens that move. And so, yes, you can do that. RF microneedling, you better see an expert. And I would only do it if I had distinct big fat pads. because you can get rid of your fat, and you might want to get rid of some of that, but then you're going to have to add some PRF. So that's something that you need to see an expert, but you can. And they used to, in Brazil especially, use fat dissolver like Kybella under the eyes. We stopped doing that about 2009, and there were some bad cases. Rare, but it can happen. So don't use fat dissolvers for most of you under the eye. Can you use red light? Can you use red light eye on the lower face? So can you use these patches on the lower face? These were designed so you can use them where you want. Yes, they're meant for under the eye. They're built for under the eye, but many people use them for the jowls, for the under eye. These are mode 1, 630, 830. Mode 2, you're going to get the PEMF and red light. So do mode 1 followed by mode 2, and only do mode 2 if you're pigment prone. Yes, they can. Do you do Sculptra and PRF in the same area like cheeks and lower face, or do you pick one? So let's dissect this question. Do you do Sculptra and PRF in the same area like cheeks and lower face, or do you pick one? You treat the whole face. So Sculptra and PRF can be combined, and you can do that for the whole face. Got it. For the lower face, it's more important to have a combination with PRF, because you don't want to add volume to the lower face, but you want to add growth factors, mesenchymal stem cells, and exosomes, and they come only from PRF. Sculptra's only PLLA. So the lower face almost always is going to get PRF as well as the Sculptra. So yes, that's the story. On the bone, so if you're up on the bone in the temples, on the bone in the maxilla, or the mandible on the bone, you can use Sculptra, not just 8-to-1. Some people use 18-to-1. You can go all the way to 4 to 5-to-1. The original Sculptra concentration was 3 or 4 mLs, not 9 mLs like it is today. So it was much more concentrated back then, but your risk of nodules goes up. So if you're with an expert and they go on the bone, you can go ultra concentrated. And I do that on the gonial angle because you want that ultra concentrated. So, okay, team, I want to thank everyone for being here. We're going to do many more of these. You got to think of your questions in your head. I appreciate all your kindness, and I want you to have the best 2026 ever. I'll keep giving you videos to help you with your routines, with your treatments, and make sure to watch my video tomorrow. You're going to be shocked at what this new study showed. Have an amazing day and have a great weekend.